Yeah, summer.
Anyone can do the intro?
Okay.
Hey,
Welcome to the Ramblecast.
Hey, how you doing, neighbor? You like the Ramblecast? Sure, we all do.
You know, we
Why don't
talked
you
for
pull up a
25
chair?
25 minutes before we start recording. Then I hit record.
and we were all muted.
Oh, I can't talk. I'm afraid.
No. Just to clarify.
Welcome
clarify.
to the Ramblecast. My name is Chris in Boston.
I'm Matt, of course. I'm here.
I'm Nick.
So.
I'm Jack, just outside of Raleigh.
I'm eating pecans.
I'm actually in Raleigh, but
And we're live.
and my goal today
Ish.
is not to have this episode named after something I've done or said. Just saying.
That's a stretch. I mean, it's gonna
I'm
be a little bit
working.
hard.
I'm working on it.
Awfully quiet podcast from you then.
I just like that the fact that it's not based on something I've done or said. So that's fair. So
Well, whose turn is it next? I mean, Nick and Chris haven't been hit in a while, right?
No,
Chris and I watch what we say.
because I don't do a lot of stupid stuff.
That makes me feel better.
And if I do, I just embrace it.
Well, we don't. We at least know that it's called Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
What's up, Randork?
Ragnarok.
Well, I think it was Jay said, "Where did you get the dork from?" I go, "I don't know. That's what it looked like on my page. I don't know."
It's funny.
I go, "Wait till you guys get old. Wait till you guys get old and you can't see things because it's your eyes are you're old."
yeah, or you just
Yeah.
have one good eye.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
What is the one good eye?
That might be a stretch.
We can make it that.
Hey, when you get older too, that one good eye doesn't work either.
What did I say? Yeah.
Well,
Switch.
Maybe with a little help from a friend.
It's been a little while since we've last recorded, but at least as the four of us. But if you haven't checked it out already, we also released an episode of Owen and Beru's Barbecue that we recorded earlier this week.
Nice.
Superb.
Yeah, it was a good show. I had a lot of fun with that one.
I did too. Yeah, it was.
It was one of those that I could have kept talking about for a while. But
Yep.
Matt had to get home.
Well, can I just take a guess? I haven't listened to it yet. Can I just take a guess? You guys can go yay or nay, or just don't even have to answer.
It's a good
If you
even
don't want to
keel.
spoil it, I'm gonna say Chris liked it, Matt liked it, Nick said it was weak.
I mean,
That's kind of a general. Very, that might be too general.
Well, I don't wanna-
That's a
I wanna-
Jay guess.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to spoil anyone. That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
I
I want
I
people to
will
listen to
say-
the podcast.
I will say that although not terribly far off, but there's many more layers to it than how you just described it.
Well, I've been watching the reviews. People on Twitter and Facebook. Some love it, some hate it, and some say it's just okay. And you
Yeah,
think
and I call out an entire population of fans a few different times.
You do.
Nick can hear you.
No, I think, to be fair, I think we all went around the car and kicked the tires a little bit. There were,
Mhm.
and it's pretty interesting because we each had things that we, at least one of us may have liked or one of us may have hated, but it's not like we loved it all the way through.
Do you think
That's
the
correct.
problem is that everybody's seen? I mean, anyone who's a Star Wars fan has seen the first three.
Yeah.
5, 6, and was it 5, 6, 7?
Four,
The order
4, 5,
4, 5, and 6.
So, and those were all really good. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't at least like them.
Sure.
The next three were like, not so good. They were okay, but not so good. And then the last one I thought was good, and now you have Solo. Is the problem that you still like some movie things, especially a span of 40 years? How long it's been? 14, 30 something, whatever. How long it's been? How often have people gone back and watched something that was because you have young kids
Right.
today? How many times have they gone back and watched something that was I'm not watching that was before I was born?
Right.
Well, I mean, everybody kind of. I think if you like movies, if you accept that you like movies, you have to go back to something that was made before you were born. So,
well, I still bring this up. I know people who haven't seen The Godfather who claim they love movies,
and they're nuts if they haven't.
I go, how could you? That was before I was born. I go, but it's like one of the best movies ever made. If you like movies, but I'm saying like a movie like this, where people might just watch it. What was the last one? Force Awakens.
No, it's the Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. If you just saw that, you probably loved it, right? Because it's kind of new to you. I mean,
part of the new Disney, as they've been releasing them, they're all in different timelines. So I think the average person that were to walk in and be like, "Wait, this doesn't connect to the last one," so they might be a little bit confused.
Okay,
but the bigger thing there is the fact that we have actually had a Star Wars out every Christmas. Mm. Now it's been less than 6 months. We have another Star Wars movie.
Right. Yep. Is it oversaturation? Is it oversaturation?
It's right after two tentpole, I'd say, like superhero movies. You had Deadpool 2, and then you had Avengers, the third movie, and culmination of a two-parter for that. So, there's a lot going on with the low turnout. I'm not trying to defend the movie.
Going for the bucks. Like, we don't care about the quality.
Well, if you listen to the podcast, I point out that maybe the CEO made the wrong decision. Maybe he made the decisions for the wrong reasons. So,
okay. And this is actually a good point. If there's anybody listening now who may not know, we do actually have another podcast called Owen and Beru's Barbecue, where we talk a lot about Star Wars related topics. And as you've heard in the last couple of minutes, our most recent episode was a review on Solo, a Star Wars story. So if this conversation piques your interest, we're going to stop it right now because we want you to go over there, download the show, subscribe to Owen and Beru's Barbecue,
which is the best name of any podcast in the history of podcasting.
It's a pretty darn good name.
That name should get you guys the coveted podcast.
Well, and we got all of our Star Wars talk out of the way so that we didn't have to bore you with it, Jack.
Yes.
I
wouldn't be bored, but
since I didn't get to speak yet about it, I would like to address.
They didn't let you speak on the podcast?
Actually, it was a good mix of points and made and everything. Actually, I said that immediately as soon as we stopped hitting record that I thought it was a very even keel. No one strongly emotional about any part of it. It was a good discussion. But Jack, to say, I don't buy into the oversaturation argument that there was a Star Wars 5 months ago and another one now, but we also get 2 Marvel movies a year and those aren't getting wore out. I think for me anyway, it's kind of like, are you a Beatles or a Stones kind of guy? If you like the Stones more than the Beatles, it's usually your rhythm and blues kind of guy.
I like the Beatles when I'm stoned. Does that help?
But it's that argument of
but only when I'm driving.
What do you like more? Like most of the time, it's one or the other. I mean, I like them both, but I'm not
a big Stones fan.
Yeah, so but I like the Beatles more than the Stones, but I still respect the Stones, and I feel that way about a lot of Star Wars films too. To me, the reason why the original trilogy holds up is because one, you have classic storytelling of the damsel in distress, the young naive kid, the teacher. It's basically it's King Arthur. It's a lot of things, classic story tropes.
The cocky,
You have all these things that are going into it, and then also people love an adventure story, as in struggle to get from point A to point B. And in A New Hope and in Empire Strikes Back, they both follow that.
That's what I'm trying to say is it has to be hard when you, like I said, the Avenger movies are great. But I wouldn't put them up with Star Wars.
No, I wouldn't either.
And that's what I'm trying to say is it'd be like, when they made The Godfather 3. Probably shouldn't have done that because it wasn't anywhere close to the first two. Now, if it was on by itself, it might have been okay. If that had been the first one, this isn't bad. But comparing it to the first two, it's not even close.
Oh, yeah. But I think where Lucas messed up is that he wasn't sure why people liked Star Wars, because he kind of thought of it as this nerdy little Western that he made. And because the prequels, although are good, the stories are there. The blueprint for the story is there. It's just that he kind of thought that people liked it for action, I think, more than that. And I think
it's always a story.
Yeah, and I think that's where that fails. And then the new ones in particular, where it fails for me is because I'm a plot guy. And so I'm saying, like, where I'm getting to the Beatles and the versus the Stones thing is that if you don't have a good story and a good original plot, I'm not going to like it, no matter how good the action, no matter how good things are going on. And I said that about The Force Awakens and Last Jedi, like, as in cinematography and action and everything else, they're great. But
you can check out those reviews,
yeah,
and hear what Chris and Matt say about, like, because we love some of those things.
What's the name of your podcast again? I hear it has a good name.
Yeah. Owen and Beru's Barbecue.
And what's the email?
The Force is well done at gmail.com.
Have you taken any slack from Star Wars fans? Have you gotten any crap for the name or the?
No.
Or because I think it's great, but I think wasn't that a concern that some of the name originally that you thought somebody thought that there wasn't going to be some Star Wars fans may not like the name?
No.
No.
Go ahead. Well, my issue was like I look with a lot of Star Wars people is that we're extremely passionate, and you say one thing wrong, like, the Millennium Falcon did it, and 11 parsecs, and they're like, no, that's not right. It's and like any little technical thing.
No, it's like Lost.
Yeah, it's like Lost, or and also something is named because it doesn't have Star Wars in the podcast title. We kind of thought, well, Owen and Beru's Barbecue, people might not get that it's a Star Wars podcast. So you kind of have to
maybe that's what I was thinking about. Yeah,
you have to be a Star Wars fan to get that title.
But we're a next level podcast anyway, right?
True.
and to that,
at least with one eye,
the fan base is super passionate, and there are a ton of people out there who have such extreme viewpoints and ideals.
Again, he can hear you.
And yeah, I'll tell you, as evidenced by these last episodes, I don't give a damn, and I don't care. I go on there and share exactly what I feel about.
Oh, you don't care what anybody thinks?
No,
well, that's pretty much your attitude towards anything.
Yeah, whatever. Like if you don't like it,
you're a typical Pats fan.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw you, we're winning.
Right. Oh, so funny you should mention that. I was watching. It was a roast on Comedy Central. I'm not sure who was being roasted. But the comedian or the woman who was doing the roasting was absolutely hilarious. And Peyton Manning was on the panel.
Okay, I saw that.
And she gets up there and she's like, Peyton Manning. I can't believe you're here. You're here. No, really, that's for you because you got a lot of concussions. You're here. You're on stage. and she kept going and she's like, you know what? Honestly, she's like, you are amazing with commercials. You actually are the greatest. You are the greatest of all time when it comes to commercials. Some might actually say that you're like the Tom Brady of commercials. I was like, damn.
You see, was it the Rob Lowe and who's the guy that's he's in the Hangover? He's Benon. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Which one in the Hangover?
He's the cop that has him shoot the taser into.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
From Seinfeld.
Yeah, is he in Seinfeld?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. You're thinking Putty.
Yeah, I am thinking of Putty.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know his name. I know who you're talking about.
But he's just laughing behind Peyton. And Peyton Manning, he took it in stride because he's from the Midwest. What is he going to do? He used to be made fun of.
It's not really from the Midwest.
He actually thinks like flight was discovered or where he came from.
Birthplace of aviation.
Yeah, whatever, Jacob Parr.
Hey,
yeah, like I love that SNL bit.
I like the Jacobs on my side on this one.
The SNL bit that it was like a Boys and Girls Club or United Way or something. Where he's just like tagging kids with the ball. Just boom.
Kids in the bathroom. Get out of the bathroom. You make me sick. Now, Peyton Manning is funny. He's funny.
He is. He's really funny.
He's got great timing. It's like when they try to push his brother on commercials. It doesn't work. He's not funny. He's not.
He's only funny if Peyton's there with him.
Exactly.
So
he's the second son. I mean, come on. He's already got enough crap.
Actually, he's the third son.
Yeah. Oh, right.
There was another one.
Because there's an older one, isn't there?
Yeah, he got hurt or something, couldn't make it to the pros or something.
Even I, as a Colts fan, will say that we know which Manning earned both of those.
Would you say the Mannings are the United States' Hemsworths?
No.
Well, who would be the United States Hemsworth? Who would that be? What's a family of actors or players that
the Wahlbergs?
The Wahlbergs?
The Sheens, you know?
Oh, yeah. I would go with the Sheens.
Well, because Wahlberg, there's only two of them,
though.
Yeah,
two
there
Wahlbergs. There's only two Wahlbergs.
It's really
right?
only two Mannings.
No, there's another Sheen. She's on the.
Well, and then there's Emilio. Come on.
Well, Estevez, Charlie Sheen, and his daughter is on the West Wing.
Oh, okay.
She just does like, "Here you go, Mr. President," like about 35 episodes of "Here you go, Mr. President," something like that. I guess she had trouble remembering the line, so they just gave her the same line over and over again. I'm just picking on her. I don't know, but no, but you got the Wahlbergs. There's only two of them though, but they're very successful.
They are,
and they're Pat's
the Bridges.
fans.
The Bridges, huh?
Oh, the Bridges. Yeah, there's two of them.
Yeah, but what's Bo done lately?
Well, he's like 90.
Bo's on Homeland this season.
Modern Family.
Exactly.
Not Blackish. He's on Blackish.
Was he on Blackish?
Yeah, he's Rainbow's dad.
Oh, okay. Oh,
and he just died. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
not Bo Bridges, but he just died.
Too late.
Yeah,
too late.
His dad. Well, who was more successful, Jeff, Bo, or what's the dad's name?
Well, they killed him off,
Lloyd.
Off screen too. So,
yeah,
which was, by the way, if you've been watching Blackish, a cheap way to like make them end their fight. Come on, I don't know. Like, I saw you post something about this, Jack.
I get to the point. I love Blackish. It is funny. It's funny. It gets political sometimes, but it
walks the line in a good way, and
it makes you think.
Yeah, it's a show that I like to watch with my wife, but the last four, it's like,
we could. Well, there was one episode my wife and I just said, I can't do it. I'm so depressed. This is supposed to be a comedy, guys. Because and all of a sudden, what bothered me about it, and spoiler if you haven't seen it, well, too bad. I said, what bothered me is all of a sudden they were happy and joyful, and the next episode, leading into this whole 4-part series, they'd stop getting along.
Yeah, I mean, it was
and usually this show is like on the money. And it just wasn't. Didn't work for me. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
I want to laugh during a comedy. I don't want to sit there and go, "Oh my god, just get back together already."
Yep.
I did like Dre's house though. He bought.
It was pretty sweet.
It was nice.
Yeah.
You guys must not watch Blackish, but it's funny.
You've made this comment before, and I always remember it. But you I think you made the comment like nobody wants to see mom and dad fight.
No.
So.
That's not who wants to see that, because we grew up in that, right? My mom and dad didn't really ever fight. My mom fought, and my dad just stared. But but nobody wants to see that.
Not when you're going for at least some escapist laugh,
right? So. Exactly.
It was like that story I told during Christmas time, and my sister. Just from me telling a story where mom put the turkey in just the brown bag and didn't in like an open thing and all the grease like ruined his suede jacket. And as soon as I saw him kick open the door, not open it, kick open the door and just let out a tirade of F-bombs at my mom for not telling him the turkey grease and all that stuff was just there. I had to go downstairs immediately just because I was laughing my ass off. And I knew that as soon as my dad saw me laughing at him, it would just turn into a huge...
You'd make it worse.
I'd make it worse. Yeah, it's just poking the bear. And, and my sister and my mom, one hearing the story and one witnessing me leaving, think that's even funnier just because they knew how well I know them. I'm sure we all have parents like that where you know when and when not to do.
Well, I was growing up. I would try to make my mom laugh, and it was a 50-50 shot. If I got her to laugh, I was off the hook. If I didn't, it was bad. She would go until she got tired, and this was back in the day where you could actually strike a child, and she took full advantage of those rules. She was I think at the time 105 pounds, but she had tons of energy. My dad just wouldn't talk to me. That was my punishment for him. He just would ignore me. But my mom,
explains so much. I mean, you're like a podcaster superhero story right here.
But no, that was just. So I would try it, but sometimes It was worse.
I know what you mean, though. I sometimes if I crack a smile a certain way at my wife and we're in a fight and she starts to laugh, then I know the whole thing's diffused. But it's like it just has to be at the right time, and like the right look, the right thing said. But I will say that it usually never works.
I know with Cindy, and I'll just get I go. I'll say you don't make any effing sense. And of course, that just because most of the time I'll just let it go. But if we're in one of those good ones, which we have, it's funny. We both been around each other like 24/7 for the last 6 months, and we haven't had a lot of fights. But it's just like the good old days where you just because to me there's logic and there's not logic, and sometimes she just comes out. I go. Plus, I can remember. I'll bring up things that happened like 30 years ago, and she goes. Why are you bringing that up? I was saving it.
That's the worst, Jack.
But it's how you win a debate because it throws people off track.
I had one of those happen last night, actually.
Really? At your concert?
Yeah. So, my wife and we went to Dead and Company last night, and I may or may not still be wearing the same clothes that I wore last night. But it was a long night. But we're tailgating. It's the two of us. We're hanging out, we're tailgating. I don't normally drink Corona. I think Corona is a gross beer when it comes to my standards of beer. But when you're either we've already talked about this. I usually only drink it when my toes are in the sand. Trap rock, like gravel, I think also counts because that's where the parking lot was made of. So we're sitting there drinking some Coronas. And
did you have limes?
Yeah, I cut some limes ahead of time. You can't, if you drink Corona without a lime, you need to go get checked out because
I've ordered it here and said, "Can I have a lime? You want a lime?" I go, "It's a Corona."
Do you know why Corona has a lime though?
Yeah, because the bottles aren't even they're not they're translucent. They're glass bottles. They're clear.
Yep.
Because by definition that beer is already skunked before it gets to you, which is why you have like every other beer manufacturer's got a green or a brown bottle to stop light from hitting the beer.
I thought it was a horse piss.
Yeah. or the guy in the brewery.
This is some good knowledge here.
Yeah. That's true. Which is why any of those beers that you drink that are in a clear glass bottle are either going to be flavored by some way, like non-traditional beer flavoring, or they're a Corona because they expect you to consume them with lime. Anyway, so I bought a 12-pack of Coronas.
How much was that in Massachusetts for a 12-pack?
$16. It's
gone up, hasn't it? Coronas?
Yeah.
Corona used to be you get for like $7 or $8. We played poker a couple of weeks ago, and I brought some Corona. I go, how much is this?
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, it's because people think that it's a good beer, and people are dumb. Sorry. If you think Corona's a good beer, you're stupid.
I chose to buy it. Now you're calling me dumb.
No, I said people who think that it's a good beer, they're dumb.
I drink it because it reminds me of home.
I drink it because I could drink like 8 of them in a span of 45 minutes. Anyways, so that here comes the funny interaction. So my wife and I we tied a couple on. We busted out the old vaporizer as well. So we had like an hour and 20 minutes.
What was in the vapor? Miller Lite
stuff to be vaporized. So
okay. Cool.
We had like an hour and 20 minutes. We didn't give ourselves a lot of time. So we had like less than a couple hours. No, that's actually less than a couple hours to pregame and get ready to go. So we're sitting there and like we're looking in the cooler, and I had just poured my fourth beer, and I go, "Oh, look, we did a pretty good job on these." Looking into the cooler, and she's like, "Yeah, I had a bunch." Blah, blah. I'm like, "Well, yeah, I mean, I had 4." She's like, "No, you didn't." Like she thought like I was trying to say like I was the one carrying the weight of drinking the beers, and like I was trying to like claim that I didn't. I could drink more than she could. I don't know why she thought that. She got immediately on the defensive.
Well,
but no, I'm like,
wait. She was trying to say she can drink you under the table?
Not necessarily that in those terms, but yeah, more or less. So she was kind of offended that I was pointing out the fact that I had drank more than she did.
That's very sexist.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I had 4. She's like, no, you didn't. I go, I'm literally pouring my 4th beer. And then she looks down, looks up, and she's like getting ready to defend. Like, I'm like, And she looks at me, and I did that smile that you actually referred to, Matt. I made that smile. I go, really? And she's like, and she looks and she starts laughing. She's like, nobody told me there's gonna be math involved. So that was the precursor for us the evening. But yeah, so we actually went and saw Dead Company last night, and that was it was a lot of fun. So I've mentioned on the show before. I've seen I saw Dead Company last fall back in November. And if you don't know who that is, it's the remaining members of the Grateful Dead.
How many are left?
With John Mayer, 4?
Okay.
3 or 4?
3 or 4.
That's not bad because they got to be up there.
Yeah, oh, totally. But
they were old when I was a kid.
I'll tell you, man, they still got it. They rock. It was an incredible show. Had a lot of fun. And the venue in which we went to was awesome. It's one of those outdoor amphitheater style places. It was a great time. Beautiful weather last night, so we had an absolute blast. So the $16 for a 12-pack was a great deal, comparatively speaking, to what we paid for inside. I was drinking Founders All Day IPAs, which they're the big cans. They're probably like the 18-ounce cans or 20-ounce cans, where they are. You buy them. They were $16.50 each.
Yeah, I think the last concert I went to here, it was like $12 or $13 for a 12-ounce can.
Yeah,
I go, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but we had a blast. Took us a while to get out of there last night, so I didn't get home until after 1 o'clock. But it was a lot of traffic.
Well, was there a lot of older people there?
Tons.
Yeah, tons. That explains. They can't drive. So,
but there's something really cool about that culture, though, because when we've all been to concerts, right? Where growing up, in your college years, even high school years, where a lot of concerts are full of younger people,
right?
And I look back on that now, and I sound so old when I say it, but there's always some type of S show happening at those concerts, right? You get the drunk young kids who just don't know how to handle their booze or are falling all over the place.
They've had 5 Coronas,
or they're in the middle of a breakup. Baby, come back!
Exactly. So it's like just like the drama of the whole thing, and there's always like some douchebag fighting somebody like a Dave Matthews concert or something, and it's just like idiots.
Dave Matthews concert,
yeah, just idiots, right? That's not the case at these shows. These shows, it's just everyone's cool, like everyone's having a blast, I would say the average age of a concert goer at this show was probably 40s, right? Yeah. So I brought down that number by just a little bit. But
grading on a curve.
But it was so much fun, and especially now here in Massachusetts with the laws that we have recently passed. Everyone was just having a blast. People were smoking weed in the lawn area all over the place, and there wasn't that feeling of like, oh, security's gonna come and bust me. But
they do it here all the time, and I don't think anyone gets to it.
But I mean, I've been to shows like where that has been the case, right? And it's just been kind of like this, not like, I don't know, weird. But it was the closest thing I think I felt to like being in like almost like a I don't want to say Woodstocky, but like almost like that festival-ish, like real
freedom.
Like exactly, it's exactly what it was like, and
like that, just that vibe that you get.
You talk to everyone. Everyone talks to each other. There's no
douchebags.
Yeah.
I imagine you holding hands with like those bears.
Take
hands across America.
Take your shirt off, hugging people.
Yeah. Well, that didn't happen. That did not happen. But
are you sure that didn't happen?
Yeah. What did happen though, which is kind of cool, and at first I was like, "Oh, this is kind of weird," but then as the night got on, I was like, this is kind of fun because like everyone was just high-fiving each other as they walked by. So I was like up against like the railing, and everyone's just throwing out high fives. No big deal. Everyone had a blast. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's when you know a concert's a success, when you're high-fiving each other.
Yeah, it was good. It was overall it was a good time. So I've seen, this is my second time seeing them. I will say though, the first time I saw them in Boston back in November, I felt like it was more of a better show. Like it was definitely like a better musical performance.
Oh, they just didn't put all their effort out.
Well, this was actually the first night of this year's tour, so it was literally their first show.
A little nervous, a little rusty.
May have been, I don't know, but like I felt like the music at the last show back in November was better, but the overall like vibe was awesome. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great when you're at a concert and nobody's, because we were at a concert one time. It must have been Journey, Cheap Trick, and Heart, maybe. I don't know. It could have been something. And these two it was a guy and a girl, and they're like nose to nose. And they're right next to us. So I kind of stood up. I said, if he does anything, I'm going to have to take this guy down. Because, I'm not going to let him beat up on a girl, especially right next to me. He ended up leaving crying because she tore into him, just started yelling at him, screaming. He walked away crying.
Oh, wow.
Which I kind of thought was funny, but
yeah,
I have a sick sense of humor. I thought at one point I go, he's going to hit her. He's going to hit her. But
yeah, it's funny. It's so ironic because I was telling the story 2 days ago to a guy, and he's like, "You should tell that story on your podcast." And I was like, it's going back to exactly what Chris is saying. Like, there's always some guy fighting at a concert, and the last time I've actually fought someone was when I was 20 years old at a concert. And it was because exactly like I was always, when I was growing up, I was always that kid at older people concerts. And I still am that way. But I was 20, I was still baby faced, and I had been at the Rendezvous, which is a real famous rib place in Memphis, just getting hammered with a friend of mine, and just ate ribs, and I think we drank 4 or 5 pitchers of beer between the two of us, and we're walking to the venue, and just some guy that was probably in his 50s or 60s, he had to be in his 50s, maybe late 40s. Like a lot of people, I was used to it happened before. He just came up to me and he's like, "You going to Clapton?" Yeah. And of course, I'm young. He's like, "Why are you going to Clapton? You don't know, about Clapton, And I just
and he didn't know who he was talking to.
Yeah, and the thing is that like I am a music geek, and the
that's
fact,
what I'm saying.
And I don't like being condescended to, and that's what he was. He's basically saying because I'm young, I don't know anything,
right?
And it was just because I was that.
That's how I treat young people now, though. But go ahead.
Yeah, but it was because I was that drunk. I just cold clocked him right there, and he went down like a sack of potatoes.
Wait, like no conversation? You just
no. I just
did you Cobra Kai him?
I struck first, struck hard, no mercy.
Like, you don't know anything about Clapton. Boom. That's how it went?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. In my memory, that's how it went.
You're a dick.
Yeah.
Boom.
But like I said, I was hammered. But like it wasn't like a smart aleck like, "Kid, you don't know anything about Clapton." It was like put his hand on me. "You don't know anything about Clapton." Like I was just like,
"Boy, you don't know anything about Clapton."
Not quite the racist sheriff there.
Oh, okay. I was trying to bring in another level.
That was Matt, by the way. If you want to send your hate mail, that was Matt.
You're in the South,
That was one eye. That was Matt being one eye.
I'm setting the tone. It's up for the podcast.
Sheriff One Eye. That's your new
Sheriff One Eye.
It's up for the podcast listeners to make.
I think that's a good title for the show.
Sheriff One Eye.
Jack's just going to be pushing anything.
Anything but me.
What's wrong with boy? You don't know anything.
But now, what happened after you punched the guy? He's just laying there.
No, yeah, because we were not quite to the concert yet, but it was an outdoor venue, like what Chris was saying, and he just went down, and I didn't knock him out or anything, but he just kind of looked at me like maybe because he was drunk too. It was, I think he was drunk.
So it was a fair fight. You both were drunk.
Yeah, we both were drunk,
even though you Cobra Kai'd him.
I Cobra Kai'd him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What's the chance that actually it was Nick that hit himself through like some mirror?
Yeah, which actually
I know what you're talking about.
Win.
I did that once too.
Yeah. He was looking at himself in the mirror. He's like, I was looking at this 40, 50-year-old guy, and I just said.
He said, I didn't know anything about Clapton.
I didn't age well. My beer goggles were really off that night. Yeah.
So, anyways, that kicked off the concert season for me. I mean, I technically did go to a concert a couple months ago and see Justin Timberlake, but the summer concert series a little bit different. So
wait, I just thought of something. We've had Matt punch a drunk guy, and Chris beat up an old guy.
Wait, no, Nick, don't throw me down.
No, I said, was it Chris? I said, right?
Hey, man, it wasn't even me. I was there.
Well, you turned a blind eye. You one-eyed him.
Hey, I know. But so that kicked off the summer concert series for me. So my wife and I, we love to go to concerts. It's kind of like our thing. So we try to go as much live music as humanly possible. Even if it's at a bar or whatever, or a concert venue, we'll go. But my next one is in a couple, not this weekend coming up, but the weekend after. Oh, hey, buddy. My cat's making an appearance. Hey.
They attacked the face.
I know, right?
Matt started shaking.
Yes, easy, Matt. It's okay.
Flashbacks.
It's okay. You might want to mute your mic. No, so we're going to another concert a week from this upcoming weekend up in Maine in Sebago Lake. So Sebago Lake is about an hour northwest of Portland.
You're making that name up.
No, it's a real place.
Sebago?
Sebago.
Oh, Sebago. Okay.
Yep, or Lake Sebago. Sebago Lake.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
So I've been going up there ever since college during the summertime because my buddy Dave, you guys have met Dave, Stuntman Dave. And he has a cabin on the lake. He's got like an old boat that he goes out there, and we go up there every summer. So there's a reggae festival.
Drinking Corona.
Oh, that'll be great.
There's a reggae festival on the lake.
Nice.
Like at the marina where the boats are all docked up. So we are gonna go up there next weekend and hang out with some Rastafarians.
My next concert be in September.
I'm sorry, Jack. You broke up there.
My next concert is going to be in Los Angeles in September.
Oh, really?
Saying the Lost.
The Lost. That's a good ways off.
Yeah,
that's technically a fall concert.
Well, it's my next concert.
Okay,
nothing scheduled.
I saw a concert this past weekend, but I want to say something about Corona first because I didn't get to speak. So many things Chris was talking about. I was like, I have something to say about. Anyway, so I as well do not buy Corona. Actually, the only Mexican beer I like is Dos Equis Amber, not the lager. The lager is not bad, but I like the amber.
Drink thirsty, my friends.
So I was in the grocery store, I think on Saturday, and I saw a 6-pack of Corona Familia, which I had never seen or heard of, and it's a dark Corona. So I was,
I've seen that.
So I was like, oh, is this like kidney infected?
Dirty, yeah.
Kidney infection Corona pee. But I was thinking
they scoop it out of the Tijuana River.
Yeah. I was thinking of Jack, though. I was like, you know what? I'm almost out of this one beer I've been drinking for a while. I'll try this just for Jack. And then so I bought it. So I haven't tried it yet, though. I got a few more beers to go, my regular beer.
You couldn't skip it and just go?
No.
You're what, in line?
That's how it goes, yeah. The palate has only got, taste for this run right now. Because what if I like that more than what I'm drinking, then I don't want to drink what I've got anymore.
It's made by the Los Angeles River.
Yeah. The El Pueblo, whatever it's called. So anyway, Monday night, I saw Paul Simon in concert, which was a great show as well. I was a little worried at first because he came out.
Who's he?
Who's Paul Simon? He's this guy. I think he was back.
Does he ever walk down the street?
He does not walk down the street.
He's soft in the middle.
He basically was. You know who Chevy Chase is, right? He was Chevy Chase's backup band.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Chevy Chase sang a lot, sang all the lyrics, and Chevy and Paul Simon just played all the instruments. That's all.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay,
he was on Saturday Night Live a couple times, right?
A couple times, yeah. Okay. He dressed up as a turkey because that's kind of what.
Wasn't he on David Letterman's show?
Yeah. But yeah, I was a little worried at first because he came out and I don't think he vocally prepped or whatnot because he sounded rough, like the first two songs.
Well, he's got to be in his 70s, right?
He's born in 41, so he's
70, yeah.
He's almost I think he's 76 and he'll be 77 pretty soon.
I mean, just to be out, it's like Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Neither needs the money; they just do it because they like doing it.
Right. But his voice was low. But after the second song, he was good to go. So we're like, okay, there it is. But he did mostly. It's a great show. He does 3 encores. And he does mostly his solo stuff. I think he did 3 Simon & Garfunkel songs.
Is he ever gonna reunite with Garfunkel?
Well, I think they were supposed to a couple years ago, but then Garfunkel had vocal troubles.
Yeah, he can't sing anymore.
Yeah,
because Garfunkel left because he wanted to be an actor, right?
Wanted to be an actor. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember there's an episode of Saturday Night Live where Garfunkel's in the thing. He goes, "Oh, you're crawling back to me."
It's mainly because Art had been in a couple. He's in Catch-22, and he was in something else like Right Around the Bridge Over Troubled Water time. He's in 2 different movies,
right?
And it was a combination of that, and then Paul was already starting to experiment with different kinds of rhythms other than folk. No, because if you look at the first 3 records, not the one before they made famous, but you look at Bookends, it's the last one they made with this like strictly folkish music, and then Bridge Over Troubled Water has a couple of you have South American rhythms in there, and then you have a bit more beat driven stuff, and I think Garfunkel had a lot of issues with that.
Wait, you're a music expert. Did Garfunkel make a mistake?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he never really made it in the movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had 3 fairly successful solo records after they broke up in the 70s, but yeah, I think he probably wanted to get out of Paul's shadow because he didn't have any writing ability.
But Paul's not that tall, so I don't understand why there'd be a big shadow.
Does that make a difference?
Well, I'm short, so I can say it. It's all right. You said casting his shadow. How big can Paul Simon's like 5'2"? How big of a shadow could he cast?
You look at the cover of Bridge Over Troubled Water, yeah, and Garfunkel's just like walking behind Paul Simon, but he's still taller than him.
All right.
Hey, Nick, does he have new music out right now?
He put an album out last year. I sampled it off of iTunes, and I did not care for it. But Paul Simon's records to me are always really long for me to absorb because he does so much different things rhythmically with each record that I'm like, I don't know if I like this or not. But then
do you have to listen to another record first that you have first and then listen to that? Kind of like your beer thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
No, but like you listen to Graceland, which is very South African based, and then you listen to Rhythm of the Saints that came out in 91. It's a different style record because he went to South America to make that one. So and that's what I mean. So like if you were expecting a follow up to Graceland with Rhythm of the Saints, you're going to be extremely disappointed. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean. As in, it takes me a time to absorb a Paul Simon record.
All right. Okay.
But I had a few of my buddies were actually at the show you were at.
Nice.
Don't punch him.
Yeah, so like my wife was very disappointed we didn't get tickets to see him at Fenway this summer. But we had kind of heard from my buddy Jeff and Matt. They went to the show in LA. He said a lot of it was the new music. They said he played a lot of that new album.
Actually, I had to get up and get it. I could read you the set list. It's actually like he only played I think 2 tracks off of the brand new record. Like, well, the thing is it's the one track that's the hit, or not really a hit, but like the one that was the popular one off of this new record is called Wristband. And if you like lyrics like Bob Dylan or Paul Simon in that era, and then listen to that, you're like, wow, this is just one of those songs that like somebody was just like, let's just write a crappy song.
Should Paul Simon be obligated to play his older stuff?
No, I mean you can play whatever the heck you want. But
I'm saying, if as a concert goer, I'm going, okay, it's Paul Simon. I want to hear the classics. I don't want to hear the new crap.
Yeah, he played half of the Graceland record, and I'm sure a lot of people who love nothing more than the '60s and '70s Paul Simon were like, "Well, I don't want to hear Rhythm of the Saints and Graceland and things like that." But
as long as it's good music, I don't care.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, if you're there and he's not playing, he's playing stuff off his new stuff that might not be as good, and you're like going, I want to hear the classics.
Now, Chris, I will say that if you look at his last tour, when he was promoting this new record, yes, last year's tour, he played nothing but new stuff.
Yeah.
This tour is his farewell tour. He's retiring after this tour. It was a good mix of everything.
Is this a share retirement thing, or is it real?
I think it's real.
Okay.
He was saying like he's a Paul Simon fan. I wouldn't say he's like a Paul Simon super fan. Actually, the guy who was telling us about the show. But he felt like, at least a lot when he at the show that he was at with you, it was very obscure. It was like a lot of stuff that he hadn't known. Mm-hmm. So I think he was probably of the camp of people that probably want to go and listen to, old school Paul Simon.
Right. So I know when you go to Journey, they don't play any of the new stuff because they've released a couple albums, and I couldn't tell you. You go there to hear the older stuff.
I think you each have to know what artist you're going to go see, because like Neil Young, Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, they're all going to be like that. Like, and just I'm going to play my new stuff because that's where I'm at in my life, and I'll throw you a few bones, but I'm an artist, and you're going to see what I want to perform. Whereas in people like the Eagles or Paul McCartney, I mean, they're going to play you every hit, or Elton John, they're going to play hours of every single hit they have.
You brought up the Eagles, and
hate the Eagles, man.
There are people that hate the Eagles.
No, I don't.
And love the Eagles. David Gott posted something about someone listening to music without headphones, and it was the Eagles, and he said they suck. And I'm just like going, I don't get the hate for the Eagles. I just don't get it.
I love the Eagles.
Okay. Jay and I agree on the Eagles. One of the few times we agree.
Who's Jay?
Jay's
a quitter.
Yeah,
is he one of those people that's on the broadcast?
Yeah, he's a broadcast person now.
Wait,
Matt, have you seen the title of the news?
Yeah.
Matt. Who's Matt to say?
What are you talking about, Matt?
What?
Like you're like a co-host.
Yeah.
No, that's Matt Treist. They tagged Matt Treist.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. You're still. You've been on it.
I don't believe it. Sorry.
You did a top 10 list for them, not us.
Uh-huh.
I haven't heard their latest episode, but I'm pretty sure the title.
What are you stumbling over here?
Why are you turning this on me? Let's get back to the music talk. I love Rhythm of the Saints, and I just wanted to say that his music is one of those things that the more you listen to it, though, the more you're rewarded by those repeat listenings, as opposed to, if you're, I don't know. I guess if it doesn't hit you after a while, then you'll never get it. But I think some of that stuff.
I just don't get the hate for the Eagles.
No, right.
I can see not.
Yeah.
I can see not. I think
Sorry.
when we were there.
That comment was about Simon.
I guess
Yeah,
okay. Like me, I was against the Eagles because my parents are big Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young fans, and to me, the Eagles were always the band that copied Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. But as I got older, I really learned to like.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
Some of which is written by Jackson Brown. I learned to appreciate some of the music of the Eagles, but I hate Glenn Frey and Don Henley just for the a-holes they are.
Glenn Frey, he's dead. How much of an a-hole can Glenn Frey be?
They were awful. Like if you ever read any autobiography about
he was great. He was great on Miami Vice. Smuggler's Blues. Come on, man.
Okay, Glenn Frey and Don Henley are great singers and they're decent musicians, but they basically ripped off every single other musician in the band. They would hire them. It's like if you're a fresh new musician, you come in, you're like, hey, I've got like 4 songs I've written. And then what they'll do is they'll go, okay, Jack, that's a good song, but I don't like this. I don't like this. And they change it and they automatically take 50% of your song. And they did that through the entire.
Well, you know what? I would, if they did that to me, I'd Cobra Kai him.
Yeah, but they did it like, and then as soon as you were 1-2 albums in and you'd kind of run out of songs to give them, they would fire you out of the band, and that's why people hate them is because they're just awful people.
I didn't know that. I just like their music. I'm not a huge fan, but I like their music.
I mean, there's like Hotel California is written by Don Feltler. It's not written by Glenn Frey or
Don Feltler.
Don.
Kind of got Gladfelter, maybe.
But he wrote all the music entirely for that song, and then Don Henley wrote the lyrics to it. But yet everyone never gives Don Feltler any credit for that.
Man, I feel bad for Don.
Yeah, and then they fired him.
I feel bad for the Eagles. I mean, I have, I like their music. Just like
not anymore because they screwed over Don Feltner.
I mean, the only reason that I've been given to dislike them is the dude. So
exactly.
And for the most part, their greatest hits I'll listen to. I'm never deep diving into Eagles. Sorry.
But I put them up there with U2 as in like they're one of the most overrated bands in history. But
wow,
that's just
you and is it? Wait, Jay's back on the podcast.
Yeah. Jay and I do not like U2 or the Eagles. This definitely
I like I said, not a huge fan. But when we were at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they had YouTube concert in 3D.
YouTube concert?
YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube concert in 3D. That's not the title of the show. And it was excellent. It was like being at a concert. It was cool. And Bono has done so much great work, humanitarian work over the years. How can you not like him?
Totally.
I don't think against Bono as a human being. I just think that for their body of work.
In the name of love. They do it for the name of love. Come on, man.
They have a few. They have.
You ever seen a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac?
That would be awesome if you did, though, man.
All right.
A bunch of dancing bears in the back of a Cadillac. Yeah.
Sorry, it's a Don Henley, I think so.
I got it.
Thank you. So, anyway.
Boys of Summer, right?
Probably. I'm not that familiar, but that lyric always gets me every time. And that song, I mean, I do know that song. So that's a certain time
I'm running it through my head to see if that's Boys of Summer.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Chris, how do you feel about the Eagles? Is there like an Eagles song or like
I sit back, I can have a Corona and vape and love them.
Yeah. I kind of grew up listening to the Eagles. My parents were Eagles fans, so there was always an Eagles record playing.
And they finally won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, who'd they beat?
The Cowboys.
Cowboys. But I remember going back to the early to mid 90s, I think it was, when they got that reunion.
94.
And I remember that being on. And that was like always on MTV. Back when MTV
it was always on my mind.
Played music. And I just totally got with the Eagles, man. I enjoyed them. And I remember I loved the movie The Big Lebowski so much. I still do. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
And I used to get so torn. Like, dude, like why, dude? Like lay off the Eagles, man.
What was the song playing in the taxi?
Oh,
I haven't seen the movie in years.
I'll tell you.
Oh, you know it?
Yeah.
Oh,
of course he knows it.
Peaceful, easy feeling.
Peaceful, easy feeling. Yeah. I think you're one of the two people in that scenario. You're either the dude or you're the taxi.
Yeah.
I said because I didn't know there was hate for the Eagles. I could see people.
I didn't either. Not to the Big Lebowski. I had no idea.
There's genuine hate for the Eagles, and it pops up all the time.
Well, if you either put your socks on, sock, shoe, or you're free.
I'm sock, shoe.
Yeah.
And we forgot to talk about it last week, but Nick, you are
like every other person in the world. It's sock, shoe.
Okay.
I am as well. Oh,
okay.
Matt, go ahead.
I am so glad we're all on the same page here.
All right, so there we solved that argument.
So, funny enough, I was putting my socks and shoes on the other day, and I was like, "Let me get in some perspective here. Let me see what life is like on the other side." And I started doing it, and my daughter goes, "Dad, what are you doing?" Like, what are you doing? Like, why? I'm like, I don't know, kid. I'm doing it for the show.
Well, it's funny because I never thought, because it was an episode of All in the Family, and I posted the clip when I was a kid. All in the Family was on. It's Archie talking to Meathead, and Archie's getting upset by the way Meathead is putting his sock. And I never thought about it. I just did it. And I go, oh, wait, I do sock, shoe. So since I was like 9 or 10, I've known it's sock, shoe. Totally. It's just the way it is. I mean, I don't. Is there another way to do it?
I don't know. Well, there are, and apparently those are like the people that hate the Eagles.
So, Jack, you mentioned Archie.
Yes,
you're talking about Archie Bunker.
Archie Bunker.
I want to talk about a different Archie for a quick second. So,
Archie Manning.
I had this. I had a realization recently, and I had no idea that this was a thing. But there's a song that we often listen to in my house. So I'm cooking dinner, getting dinner ready. I'll play on the HomePod. We'll dance and sing. That's kind of like a theme in my house. But it was also the song that we played at my wife and I's wedding when we cut the cake. And it's Sugar Sugar by the Archies.
Oh, okay.
Now I love that song.
Honey.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's got a great build. It's a great song. And I just realized recently of who the Archies actually were. Like, I didn't know that was a song that was written and performed for literally the Archies comic book cartoon.
Didn't Neil Diamond write it? Was it Neil Diamond?
No, it wasn't. It was a bunch of session band members that got together and had no face other than the cartoon itself.
It's like the Eagles,
and they wrote that song specifically for the Archies comic.
Yeah,
I never made that connection.
Well, there used to be a cartoon, I think, in the 60s or 70s, Archies.
Yeah, that's where it's from.
Yeah, and I remember seeing it on the show.
I never made that connection, just because, like, I guess going back to like even when I was planning my wedding, like we didn't have like album art from.
It's a great song.
iTunes, you know. But it's a fantastic song, and I love a song that's by a fictional band.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Dharma Lady.
Yeah, it is kind of like that.
What's like the Monkeys? It was.
Wait a minute.
What?
What's the name of the group?
The Archies.
Geronimo Jackson is not a real band.
Yeah, they're not a real band. You might know some stuff about Eagles, man.
It's a podcast, Geronimo.
Let me blow your
Jackson.
mind about some Geronimo Jackson.
Like my world's crushed now.
I'm just so relieved that Chris said that it was that song, because as Chris sometimes says in stories and builds up, I start thinking, what could it be? What could it be now? Do. Well, I just throw every weird song that it could not possibly be for your wedding.
Thanks.
Or just singing around.
I'm on a highway to hell. that was playing at my wedding.
I wanna feel like an animal.
Same old situation.
So, Chris, after you watched Deadpool,
Same old ball and chain. Sorry,
Chris. After you watched Deadpool 2, did you immediately download "Take on Me"?
Yes. So that version of "Take on Me" is
wait, that's from Leftovers.
Is effing brilliant.
It's so good. No, like Aha did a MTV Unplugged, I guess last year.
Am I right? It was played in
I don't know. That show was terrible.
The Leftovers?
Yeah, no, not a great show.
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, whatever.
The second season?
I've already forgotten about that show.
Did you watch seasons 2 and 3?
I watched all of it. I've moved on. I forgot
it's terrible.
About that show.
Oh my god.
Anywho, so Nick, you were mentioning that MTV came out with that,
and he loves the Eagles.
MTV came out with that. So I had heard that version of it prior to seeing Deadpool. So I had seen that video. It was like one of those videos that pops up on your Facebook feed.
Yeah.
But go on.
Oh, but Aha did MTV Unplugged, and it's an all acoustic, more acapella-ish version of their late 80s hit "Take on Me," and it's a slower rhythm, and it's just I hadn't heard it till the film, and I was just like, oh my god, it's so good, and it had to. Everyone who sees that film, I guarantee, immediately downloads that song.
I want to immediately download it now, and I haven't seen the movie.
So I'll tell you this.
I'm going to do it too, just so I don't be left out.
The first time I saw that video of that version of "Take on Me," I was sitting there and I was just like, I never knew how sad this song was.
Well, this is bringing.
I immediately think of that music video. No, I'm serious. I'm being very honest. When you think of "Take on Me," the first thing you think of is one of the coolest music videos ever, right? Yeah. And it's like this fun, the boy meets girl. Let's go and have fun.
Hand-drawn.
Come on, you got to stop it. Journey videos were the best.
No, the "Take on Me."
No, Sherry was the best. That was technically not Journey. But
what's it? It's Separate Ways.
Yeah.
I love Journey, but they had the worst videos.
Terrible videos. But that video, that's the immediate mental connection I make when I hear that song is that music video, which is a fun video, and it's like, and everybody can sing along. Take on, and everyone knows the melody goes, and then you hear that version of it, and you're like, oh man. Like there's so much more emotion and feeling to that song when you hear it in that version, and it's actually pretty incredible.
That's why I think it's better to go through life with, like I do, not paying attention to the lyrics, so you can just enjoy the song. Because there's some songs that come out and go, "That's what it's about." That's That's depressing.
Yeah,
it's like 99 Red Balloons, and there's another one,
Born in the USA.
Well, yeah, 99 Balloons is about atomic war, isn't it?
Yeah, and then there was, and it's also in 2 languages. But anyway, there was one song where it's about abuse, and it's I'm drawing a blank on the name of the song. It was
Good Day Sunshine.
No, it was a song. It was one of those one-hit wonder songs, but it was about a song where the woman is being abused. And
Walking on Sunshine.
This is not going to go well.
I can't remember the song, but I'm just
Walking
saying.
Walking on broken glass.
Anyway,
I can't imagine what you felt like when you realized that Thor Ragnarok was not Randork. Because
I think Randork would have been more popular.
Yeah,
it would have made more money. In fact, that's going to be the Star Wars next title, Randork.
Randork.
We're going. That's going to be like a planet. We're going to planet Randork.
I think that could be an actual planet in the Star Wars universe.
It could be, and that would be a shout out to the fans, wouldn't it?
It's where Rancors are from. This is Randork.
But speaking of Donald Glover,
okay,
have you guys ever seen Atlanta?
No,
I have not.
I've been there many times.
Okay, it's probably one of the best shows on television. Donald Glover. It's. I'm watching season 2 now. I go on FX, and the only problem is FX. You have to watch. I'm on their website. You have to watch the commercials, and they show the same 2 commercials all the time. And I have AT&T and I have DirecTV. I said, why are they showing me? Because they know I have to log in with whatever provider I have. Why are they showing me these commercials?
Because they haven't been able to sell it to other advertisers.
But anyway, it's like a dramedy.
Okay.
There are times I'm just laughing, and there's other times you're just thinking, But if you haven't seen it, I'm telling you, you have to watch it.
Okay.
I guarantee you will all like it.
It's a good recommendation because I've been told, and I've been trying after my friends are telling me how great the show The Expanse is, and I've been trying to watch it, and I just can't get into it. So I'm glad you're giving me a suggestion of something to watch.
I'm telling you,
worth it.
Go watch it. I think the first season's on Hulu, but you guys have that other thing. But I
do not.
Yeah, it's there. There's an episode in season 1. Might be I think it's episode 8 or 9. Might be the funniest half hour of television I've ever seen in my life. It's just so original. So and there's an episode in this season where he's it's called Barbershop or Barber or something like that. I just watched it the other day. I woke my wife up laughing, which didn't go over well. But I said, it's funny. What do you want me to do? It's funny. But
that's one of those times where you can't smile at your wife to get her to laugh.
Yeah, because she's already cranky. And the episode after that was so dark, but so good. It's an amazing show. It's amazing.
So it's like if Black Mirror made you laugh?
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't recommend it more.
All right, that's a glowing recommendation.
You have to go. You have to watch it.
Got too much stuff to watch.
This is like Russia. Stop what you're doing, Nick. I know you want to watch other shows in order. Stop what you're watching.
There is a show that we actually do have to watch for.
I was going to say, I still have to finish Lost in Space. Now I have Evil Genius.
I watched the first episode of Evil Genius. Pretty amazing.
It's awesome. It gets crazy, man.
I got a blast out of the first one, but it was
is a blast out of the first one, eh? Okay.
Yeah. They show it, so just be prepared.
All right. I need to finish Arrested Development.
Bang Maxwell. Anyway.
I'm just a couple episodes from the new season. I've binged it.
Arrested Development? I forgot they released it. I need to watch that.
Yeah.
And another show I wanted to talk about, because it's getting kind of political, but I watched Ken Burns'
Roseanne?
3-part series. I'll talk about that in a second. 3-part series on
Roseanne.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's about the Prohibition.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen that.
That's right.
No.
I mean, I knew going in it was a stupid law that they had passed. But man, what a stupid law they passed! It's probably one of the dumbest things America's done as a country.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and we've let's face it, we've done a lot.
You do realize we elected Donald Trump, right?
Well, I get that, but this is worse. I mean, this was some stupid crap and it was done because mainly because they didn't like immigrants.
Huh.
Well, there's a lot of issues.
There's a lot of issues, and
the progressive era made a lot of really interesting laws, like the income tax, which never really was fully ratified. There's a lot of things.
That's what they say helped push Prohibition.
Yeah, because
they didn't need the money because alcohol was basically supplying all the money we needed for America.
There was this whole purity movement going on in the teens of the early 20th century, and that's why you have the rise of the KKK. You have white wedding dresses. Everything was about purity, and alcoholism was considered to be a vice. That's the reason why cocaine became illegal, marijuana became illegal.
And I got to say one thing: I drank every time I was watching the episodes. Just saying.
But also, it's because this is
a rebel.
This is also a time where alcoholism is at a rate where a lot of us can't even fathom it today because we didn't have mental health facilities.
Sure. Right.
And so a lot of people who had anxiety, depression, a lot of mental things drank
self-medicated.
To feel normal. And that's another reason why they pushed Prohibition is because they wanted to get people somehow to be fixed. But of course, nothing got fixed though.
Well, it's America. You can't tell America you can't do something. Right? Am I right?
Right.
If I tell you guys you can't do that, you're going to go do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? And that's basically what happened. Well, what was the worst part was there was a group that would go. They were there was the dries and the wets, and the dries had this one group. I can't remember the group, but they would literally, if you didn't go with, on their side, they would go into your whatever you like, mayor, governor, and you would not win. They had 77 people they went against, and 77 people lost. I mean, it's like you had to go on their side, and that's how it slowly started to pass. And in theory, people, because
it's kind of like the NRA,
right? It is, but it's just money talks, and money was what, and just power.
Do you see the look on Nick's face after I just said that?
That's why I gave it.
But no, it was just it's an amazing series. It's I learned a little bit more. I knew some of it, but I knew more about because it started like in the 1800s. They started pushing for it, and it's just an amazing and how crime developed and how crime became worse because you had Capone and all these other people who were making just tons of money off it because people were like saying, "Screw you, we're still going to drink."
Yeah,
that's
why I like right now. It's
drugs.
It's an interesting debate right now. I saw the other day about legalization of marijuana because you have people saying it's successful now. Look at these few states. But you also have another side saying, but the drug cartels are even stronger now because what they're doing is they're using California, Colorado, and Washington as hubs to distribute the black market even easier because they're like, oh, we'll fly it directly into Colorado now or grow it in Colorado and then use our established lines to move it to other states where it's illegal.
Produce competition, drives the prices down.
But it's just funny. Like I was like, oh, I hadn't heard that. I was like,
but tax it.
And you could also make the argument that because there's no federal law on books, and because the states are up to just regulating it themselves, that there's no oversight to say, okay, we need to try to maybe.
And they even talked about the Great Depression. They said, if you just legalize beer.
Yeah,
it would hire 500,000 people. You'd bring in $500 million worth of tax revenue. It would help you get out of the depression. And Hoover and they would just say, no, we're not doing it.
Speaking of taxes, I am really curious to see with the aluminum taxes now going to go up, how much beer is going to go up.
Oh, is the tax going up on aluminum?
Yeah, the tariffs on imported aluminum.
I didn't see that.
Goes into effect midnight tonight.
Uh-oh.
And
get your Corona now.
Get your Coronas now.
Corona in a can. They do sell Corona in a can, I think.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can actually
I pushed that aside.
There's one airline, I think it's Southwest, that gives you water in a can.
Yeah, I get seltzer water.
No, this is regular water.
Oh, just regular water.
I go, the hell is this? Sure. They go, water. I go, in a can?
Well, and I believe that...
Are you causing problems, sir? We can have you thrown off this plane.
It's like Perrier.
But I believe, wasn't it Budweiser that provided water, like after Katrina? So they had provided some water because they had bottling facilities or what have you, and so they were canning water just.
Oh, right, I remember that now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess there's canned water.
It doesn't taste good.
Yeah,
water. Yeah.
No, I put my I have water sweetened what are those things called?
I get
enhancers.
Yeah.
You can put a lime in it.
Have you tried
I say that for the Corona.
Have you tried the Tang one?
I didn't like it.
Really? There's
and
I
love Tang. I do the Hawaiian Punch ones.
Every growing boy needs Tang.
Yeah,
true.
I grew up on Tang because the astronauts drank it, and that's why we did it. But I always said just one.
And
scoop.
We wonder why we're a nation chock full of diabetic patients.
I used to put like 6 or 7 teaspoons in the.
When I was a kid, I'd eat the powder when I was a little kid.
Yeah, if there was powder in a spoon, forget about it.
Oh yeah,
I would just eat spoonfuls of quick.
Spoonful of sugar.
I remember taking spoonfuls of sugar and putting on top of Raisin Bran just to make it taste better.
I was talking about Dennis was talking about Wheaties on the political page, and I used to eat my Wheaties. I would get my Wheaties. I'd put like tons of sugar on it, just tons. slice up some bananas, put the milk on, wait 5 minutes, and then eat it.
Oh wow, that 5 minutes really cured it.
No, what it does, it makes it soggier.
Ooh.
Speaking of like a sugar rush, I saw someone the other day not make Rice Krispie treats, but Fruity Pebble treats.
What?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah,
I'm sure you
that
can
sounds
Google
good.
it, but it was basically the same recipe as Rice Krispie treats, but with Fruity Pebbles. And I was like, oh my God, that person's a genius.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Chris, has your daughter ever had Fruity Pebbles?
No.
Matt, your kids ever had Fruity Pebbles?
No, actually, Fruit Loops.
I outlawed them in the house because what would happen is they'd eat the Fruity Pebbles, put them in the sink. We'd go to work, come back, and you could not get those Fruity Pebbles out of the bowl.
Oh,
They would just
Yeah.
it was like crazy glue. You could not get the. I go, all right, no more Fruity Pebbles. We like Fruity Pebbles. No, because you can't get them out of the bowl because you guys don't rinse off your bowls and get the Fruity Pebbles out. I'm spending 15 minutes trying to get those Fruity Pebbles out.
No, I've actually made a pretty conscious effort to not give my daughter all the crap that I ate as a kid.
C3POs.
Well, you're fine.
Yeah.
Twinkie.
No one.
We always had Twinkies growing up. That was great. So
You don't know the effects of sugar until you have kids.
Yeah.
true. Truth.
Actually, my favorite thing to eat as a kid was Planters cheese balls, which they do not make anymore.
Oh, my
yeah,
goodness,
those
yeah.
were really good. Yep, I know what you're talking about.
I actually wrote Planters after they quit making them. And I was just like, what's wrong with you people?
I think I'm having deja vu. I think you may have mentioned that before. on
I
the
think
show.
so. Yeah.
I think I did.
Because did you say you were a member of the NRA when you sent them the message?
Or was it did someone write to Mellow Yellow as well?
That was me. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was like the early podcast days.
That's great
Like,
because it was Mellow Yellow and Planners.
Planners, yeah.
I know that for a fact.
We should all write to companies to see what they send us for free stuff because that was the stories because Mellow Yellow sent
Yeah.
free a 6-pack of Mellow Yellow Zero when I wrote them. Yeah,
I've done that with detergent and stuff. Like I did that free stuff thing, and they will send you samples, detergent and stuff.
Problem is I've been on this podcast and I've listened to this podcast at random different times in my life here.
You didn't listen to the whole thing?
I don't know if no, I do. I remember this whole conversation. I just don't know if I was on that show or not.
no, this was years.
No,
ago.
you were on the broadcast during those times.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I'm amazed that Chris remembered that because I never thought you listened to anything I said.
No, when you said
Oh, come on. Actually, if you want to get technical, I think it was the night that I did a live show from a bar.
Oh,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Huh.
I do. You know, it's when you were saying, I go, I've heard this before. I remember it. And I did want to talk about one more thing. The Ambien. What's the medicine? Ambien. It's been in the news the last couple of days. I have taken it. I've used it because I have trouble sleeping. My wife actually had it because they were her pills I took, and she would do some crazy things.
oh yeah.
Her thing was, remember when my youngest daughter and I were watching TV, and she took it to go to bed, and all of a sudden she's like trying to swim in the ocean, which is now they say it doesn't make you do things you wouldn't normally do. My wife would go to the ocean, the beach, but she never went in the water. Ever. But she was like, here's the wave. I'm swimming in the wave. And we'd be, okay, let's get you upstairs. Let's get you in bed.
Yeah, you think you've had enough tonight.
Yeah. A couple times I took it. One time I was looking at the smoke detector and thought somebody was spying on us. And my wife said, go to bed. I go, no, they're spying on us. They're spying on us. They're spying. The worst one is I used to open up the rink on Saturday mornings. I told the story on the political page. I went to the rink. The rink is 6 o'clock. 5 o'clock, opened up, reffed a game, youth hockey game, and don't remember it. And finally, I didn't remember going to work, setting anything up. The only thing I remember is this kid, the goalie, came out, and they're not supposed to leave their crease or go across the, center ice. And I'm yelling at him, get back in your crease. Get back in your crease. He goes, ref, the game is over. I go, oh, okay. So I'm yelling at this poor kid. And he's looking at me like going, what the heck is this guy's problem? And that's the only thing I remember up until that point was I'm yelling at this kid. So I have to they go, you were fine. I go, I don't remember the game. I don't remember getting here.
Wow.
So then I went out and looked at my car and see if anything was plastered to the front of my grill. nothing. So I was worried. I go, did I hit anything? I mean, what the hell? How did I leave the house?
That's scary.
How did I leave the house? Get dressed, take a shower, get
Build
dressed
that cross, light the cross on fire.
Exactly. Well, I'm in the South, and get dressed for the hockey game, function doing the hockey game, and not remember anything until the very end of the game.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this.
I would recommend people don't take it.
Yeah, we were talking about this because recently in the news, Roseanne Barr has made some pretty infamous tweets, and she was blaming Ambien. But I don't know if you guys saw the press release that came out, or PR statement, I should say, from Sanofi, who is the drug manufacturer of Ambien. They, apologized to Roseanne Barr for her experiences while on Ambien, but had then also stated in their tweet that although Ambien does have side effects, racism is not one of them.
Well,
that was the official response, and I almost died laughing.
Who's the comedian that's on the street that is really loud? He talks to people, and if they don't,
Billy
Eichner.
Billy. He put on there, I just took Claritin, and now I'm a homophobic. I mean, I feel for Roseanne because she does have mental illness. It's documented. She has issues, but you can't say stuff like she said. You just can't. You can't. Not so much for her. I feel bad.
Jack.
Do what?
Did someone just censored you?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, your mic went in and out.
Well, it's probably for the best. But I feel bad for the people the writers that the people on that aren't rich, and she's got more money than she'll ever be able to spend. But and plus the show's being taken off syndication, so all those people who are getting those monthly little checks, residuals are not going to get them anymore, because she said it's almost like Cosby. He did something terrible.
Or Bill O'Reilly.
Exactly. It's the little people that get punished the most.
I heard Bill O'Reilly's going to come back, though, but not on Fox, like on some other.
No, it's some conservative thing. I don't know what it is.
It's YouTube Red.
He's going to take over Cobra Kai.
There's a
well done live.
There's a joke in the new Arrested Development, and they refer to it as YouTube or YouTube Brown or something like that.
Is it funny?
I liked it.
Is Jeffrey Tambor in there a lot?
Is Michael Cera on it?
Yeah, actually, the Michael Cera and the scenes that he has with maybe I can't remember the actress that plays her, but that's actually one of my favorite storylines in the show. So
is it the same it was last season? They're not all together; it's just individual.
I don't know. I mean, it's always kind of been somewhat fluid like that, but they do come together. It seems like it. I don't know if I'm really paying attention to like, oh, they're all together now. So
now, what I liked about the fourth season, the one that was the first one for Netflix, was that what I was hoping was happening with Buster and the murder and all that was that they were really setting up
spoiler
a true life you're a crook Captain Hook, because if you look at it, Buster is the one that they're saying killed her with the hook, and then Michael will be the actual lawyer, and so it's right. Are they really doing that, or were they going to turn into that?
I wonder. That's a good call out. It's kind of funny looking back at season 4 because it's about them buying land so that the government will purchase it from them to build a wall.
Right.
So
because last time they're building houses, right? Season 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, season 4 they're trying to buy the land, or they're selling land. I don't know. There's a whole.
It's in Mexico.
I can't.
So, it's not bad.
It's the banana stand.
It's pretty funny that like I know it was criticized when it first came out for a lot of different things, but now looking back at 2013, it's really quite ahead of its time.
I almost wrote your latest post on Political Overflow, Jack, with with your medical insurance thing. I almost wrote that like there's always money in the banana stand.
Well, I put on if you're on the political page, I was going through the attic, I'm moving that stuff around, and I found an old check stub, a bank payments that I've from 1986, and I got paid once a week, and our insurance was taken out once a week. It was $2.33.
Wow!
And I don't think there was any copay. I don't think there was any deductible. It was $2.33. That was what I paid once a week. And towards the end of where I was working, it was $1,250, huge deductible and huge copays. And it was just ridiculous what we were paying. And now we don't even have insurance, but it is what it is. But it's just amazing how in just 22 years, 32 years, I guess 32, whatever it is, how much it's just gone up and how skyrocket.
A lot of lawsuits since then.
Yeah.
I think you're right about Ambien. I think a lot of doctors now are saying don't take it because it doesn't really put you to sleep. It puts you in like a
trance. I mean, you're
trance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter if you take it once or nightly. Like you're never really asleep. It just
because I've always had trouble sleeping because my brain just won't shut off, and I don't think I felt well rested. And then, like I said, once I went to work, and I know I was behind a car and don't remember getting there. I said, I can't take this anymore. I don't want to kill anybody.
Sure.
Before we hit record, I could have sworn I've already told this story on one of our podcasts, but my mom.
You did.
Yeah. There's Matt being the one-eye guy again.
Yeah, there he goes. No, like about my mom taking an Ambien.
Sheriff
on the
One Eye.
It's the episode title.
It has to be.
Of course it does, Jack.
Anything but me.
All right, how about Sheriff One Eye Jack?
Oh, how did I get thrown into this? That's not funny.
It just happens to be a playing card. Sorry.
Well, I think we picked the Suicide King. I think that's just me.
Oh,
great movie.
Anyway,
well, I was saying like
Nick.
Okay, stop me if I told this one before, but like, my mom and I were flying back from Munich to Washington, D.C. on a flight, and one of her friends that was on the flight with us gave her an Ambien, and she didn't tell me. So we're flying roughly above Iceland, and all of a sudden this is still one of those older planes where it's just one screen that everybody watches.
Has a prop.
Yeah, and the Last Airbender was on. And mom,
Amelia Earhart was a pilot.
Yeah, she was.
The Last Airbender. That's a great movie to be first to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so she looks at me. She goes, "Nick, what's this movie?" And I'm like, "It's The Last Airbender." She goes, "Is it any good?" I said, "It's gotten horrible reviews. I haven't seen it."
It's not like the Eagles.
Yeah, it's worse than the Eagles. And she goes, "Okay." I mean, not even 30 seconds. Nick, is this movie any good? I look at her like, okay, no, Mom, it's not good. All the reviews I read said it was really bad, and she's like, okay. And then I got probably a minute.
Well,
so this movie's not any good. Are you sure it's not? Like, I mean, like, but she keeps going on and asking me the same question over and over again. And so I'm thinking because my grandmother, her mother had a stroke mid-flight.
Sure, yeah, that's what I would think.
Okay. So I immediately thinking like, crap, she had a stroke, and so I'm already not knowing what to do because I think I'm 27 at this age when this happened.
Cobra Kai.
And so I'm kind of like crap. So I'm already hit the button, for the stewardess to come by and I'm like, something's wrong with my mother.
You mean the flight attendant?
The flight attendant, yes.
Okay.
I don't understand why people get offended because a steward is someone who aids a doctor or someone who aids. So that's what it is. But
I just go with flight attendant. Play it safe.
So anyway, so I'm thinking I'm going to have to tell the pilot we have to emergency land in Iceland because my mom's had a stroke. And so I hit the button, and everything. And I'm going to tell the flight's like, my mom, something's wrong with her. And then, of course, thank God, like the woman had enough sense to look at my mom and go, "Miss, did you take anything before you got on the flight?" And she's like, "Yeah, a friend of mine gave me this thing called Ambien." I'm like,
Did your mom have on her scary mask?
No. Well,
that would have been scary.
Yeah.
It would have been good if you had a scary mask.
Yeah.
Welcome to your nightmare, Mom.
So what did you say after that? Because you've called the flight attendant over.
Nothing. I mean, because we figured out what was wrong, and then probably within 5 minutes, I looked over at Mom again, and she was out cold. I mean, just mouth wide open, just against the window.
Well, thank goodness you got the answer before she passed out, because you would have been really freaking
You've been freaking out, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I hadn't even thought of that.
Mom!
It's like a terrorist
Nick,
attempt.
I'll tell you though, we've heard stories about Nick's mom on this show.
I still think she should be on the show
a few times, more than a few times, a lot. And every time you tell a story about your mom, I want to hang out with her even more.
I actually have told her once.
Get a few Coronas, vape.
I did tell her that I have told a few stories on this podcast about her, and that she's there's a lot of people who want to hear you on the show, and she's like, no. She knows what exactly the stuff I'm going to be telling.
That's awesome.
Well, is she embarrassed by it? I mean,
she's not embarrassed by it, but she's like a lot of people. She's sensitive,
I know as a kid, my mom punished me, put me in my room. I'm saying, I wish she would die. 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 I'm saying that. My mom comes in screaming at me, passed out, and fainted on the floor. I thought I killed my mom.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, Mom, and found out she had low blood sugar. So she had that was
legitimately fainted.
Yeah, it wasn't an act.
I thought she was acting. I was like,
no, I was gonna say if your mom did that, if your mom did as an act, I would say that is the best story.
No, she literally passed out and fainted. I'm like, I killed my mom.
That's the next level parenting.
What did you leave me?
How have you not told that story?
I don't know. I just was like, I might have told it in the early years, but I can remember her coming in, just scream. She swings the door open. She starts screaming at me. I'm like going, oh, I'm in trouble now. And she just, and it wasn't, it's just bam, hits the floor. I'm like, Mom! So anyway, I didn't kill her. So she's alive. She's fine.
Yeah. Again, explains so much about your podcast origin story.
So you see, rag dork makes a little more sense. I've had a traumatic life. I mean, I've had problems. I've had issues. But I did want to talk about one more thing. Right. I posted it on the Facebook page, maybe the patrons page. We've all seen the movie Good, Bad, the Ugly.
Of course.
Oh yeah,
it's been years.
Yeah, the Danish orchestra. I think it's Danish orchestra.
Oh right.
I posted it. I'm not one to get like chills from music. I'm watching it going, oh my God, this is brilliant. It's amazing. And maybe I'll post it on our link of the thing. If you like the Good, the Bad, the Ugly, it was fantastic. So I guess it came out in like January or February this year. And I just happened to find it when I was watching something else.
So tell me a little bit more. What exactly is it?
It's the
acapella version.
It's an acapella version.
Yeah, they do have a few instruments just to make those sounds.
Yeah,
but yeah. Everyone else is doing all the
don't. And it's perfect. I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, it's second only to Jack and I doing bum.
Oh yeah.
You guys set the bar pretty high.
Butch guy's done that skit. Jay hates that music from that movie,
and he's nuts. I mean, I think
it's modern music in a western.
It's the first time that's ever happened. Like the people. Okay, I'm not sure if Matt and Chris have seen Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, but that movie broke ground on so many things in cinema that people today don't even realize, because it's the first time that the audience rooted for the bad guys in a film. Modern music in a time period movie. That movie established the buddy cop.
Are falling on my head.
The buddy cop things that happened in the 70s. All that.
Newman and Redford.
All of that started with Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
And rules in a knife fight. Who doesn't use that daily? I say that daily.
Well, I always
especially that kid who was skating outside of his zone.
You see this used a lot too. Is like, who are those guys? Like, it's really subtle, but like, who are those guys? Like,
it's like
it's. I think Nick and I think it's our favorite movie of all time.
It is. It's my favorite movie of all time.
It's my favorite movie of all time.
Well,
but Jay goes, it would be so much better without the music. I go, but it fits this. It fits the whole movie. It fits with the movie. And Burt Bacharach won an Academy Award for the music.
You could say the same thing about Ghostbusters soundtrack. I think that Jay and you are talking the same language here. Like the Ghostbusters soundtrack broke ground.
I like the soundtrack in Ghostbusters. I mean, who are you going to call?
It's like
Ghostbusters 2. Bobby Brown broke ground.
No, that movie sucked. That movie should have never been. That movie should have never been made.
Used rap in that way. In a ghost-themed movie.
I'm supposed to believe the Statue of Liberty can get up and walk.
It was
No.
too hot to handle. It was too cold.
Too cold to hold.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. We're talking about equals.
Sticks? What was the best? No.
The best of time.
Yet you believed a large marshmallow jack, but not the Statue of Liberty.
I can because that's what he wished for. That's what he thought. That's what came in his head. The Statue of Liberty doesn't move. I'm sorry.
I will say though, ever since
it
watching that
would crack.
movie, I've always been hesitant about showering in or taking a bath in a clawfoot tub.
Oh yeah,
that did scare me a lot as a kid as well. But there's definitely some things from Ghostbusters 2 that I always remember. Like anytime anyone says the name Oscar, I immediately go like, named after a hot dog, you poor man. You poor man.
The best thing about Ghostbusters, the original, is Ghostbusters the song. When the Padres were the first time they had made it were advanced and made the playoffs. They were going to the World Series. They're playing the Cubs, and there's 60,000 people singing Cub Busters. So there you go. So
they certainly are
David
just a mere ghost of what they used to be. Those Padres.
But
they're young.
Jay will even tell you, like yesterday or day before yesterday, there was two guys with a jack. What are they called?
Jackhammer.
Jackhammer. A jackhammer in the middle.
There's a title for the episode.
Yeah. One-eyed jackhammer.
One-eyed jackhammer.
There it is. There it is.
There you go. Same kind of motion, right?
Yes. The one-eyed jackhammer.
I'm almost there.
Oh man,
you're drilling a hole, right?
Yeah. So there's two guys in the middle of the intersection drilling a large hole, and I immediately take a picture of it and I send it to Jack, going like, Mr. Venkman, can you explain why you chose to drill a large hole in the middle of First Avenue? And it was like, well, there were so many holes already in First Avenue, I didn't think anybody would notice. And it's a quote from Ghostbusters 2, but like my friend who's walking with me back from lunch is like, why are you taking a picture of that? I'm like, you wouldn't understand it all. Like, I knew Jay immediately would get that and see what I.
It's Ghostbusters. I love it. I've got it. Jay was also on the broadcast recently.
Oh my God! Really?
Screw Jay.
Yeah. I know Matt's awful quiet right now.
He won't even get mad for me saying that because he's not even going to listen to this.
No.
I'm just being quiet, letting you guys, talk about Jay.
I've been quiet because I don't want to be known who's on the broadcast.
Well, he is the new Jay.
Look, I was on a live show. Mm-hmm. There was an audience there. I mean, I just appeared with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I can't just hang out.
You're
under contract.
800 miles just to be on the broadcast, is what I'm hearing.
No, I do it just to pretend that Dan won't kill me. So sure, yeah, we'll go, Dan.
We're friends, Dan, right? We're friends.
You know who hasn't been on the podcast? Dan.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah. Maybe you can get him to come over here if he wants to be, meet some true Ramblecasters.
Yeah. Someone who's not going to, they're going to be loyal. I'm just looking for people who are going to be loyal.
Dan is loyal. He's almost a little too loyal.
He's loyal to the grave?
Yeah.
Look,
he's a killer queen.
I'm looking forward to that movie. Yeah, like Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm really.
I've heard good things that could be good or could be bad.
Yeah. My favorite review of it was someone like a meme or whatever. It was some guy posted he got mad over the trailer because it didn't say anything about Freddie Mercury's sexuality in the trailer, and some guy's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, they didn't have time to squeeze his entire sexuality inside a minute and 30 seconds."
It's not a secret.
Yeah.
Why are you upset?
But that's like it's the absurdity of people getting outraged over stupid stuff today.
I'm waiting for the spinoff, the Freddie Mercury. It's called Mercury.
Just Mercury.
A Queen story.
No, do we all like Queen? Can we all agree on that?
I don't see how anybody can not like Queen.
Queen's amazing.
I was saying to him, like my sister, what's really to me special about Queen is that they're one of the only bands that there was 4 songwriters, but yet regardless of who the songwriter was, it was a Queen song. Like you could
fire him.
Well, yeah, no, but like you usually knew if it was a Paul McCartney song or a John Lennon song or like
Ringo
or anybody. You knew who wrote that song. Queen, name any song, you really don't know who wrote it unless you're a diehard fan.
Bicycle.
I don't know. You could make the same argument for the Eagles.
No.
One thing that's pretty cool about so I don't know. I don't know enough. I mean, I'm not a huge Queen super fan. I totally dig the music, but I don't know much about their band, their story, which I'm excited to learn about in the movie. But one of the cool scenes from the trailer that has me super intrigued was that it seems like they had no idea who each other were or what their styles were or how they're going to make music when they wrote or put together the song Bohemian Rhapsody. He's got that the sick guitar riff. He goes, what's next? He goes, it's the operatic section. They're like, what?
Well,
am I reading into that a little bit too?
Yeah, a little too much. Yeah. One, I think you can buy it. There was a series on VH1 Classic. I'm not sure if they even still do it, and it's called Classic Albums. And there is one for A Night at the Opera. I would highly recommend watching it if you can. So they had 3 records prior to Night at the Opera, and none of them really charted that well. And it's because their first manager, like a lot of early 70s managers, screwed them over with their contract and not promoting them, things like that. So when they renegotiated
Bastards.
And they got a new contract, they basically said, you need to go in and make the best record you've ever made. And so that's what became Night at the Opera with You're My Best Friend and Bohemian Rhapsody. And there's a couple other also, actually, the whole record is good. It's the only Queen record, really, that I can listen to all the way through and not get fed up with. But in the
year of 39, I love that song.
I love 39. It's so good.
Yeah.
But the first track is called Death on Two Legs. And that song is written about their first manager. And it's basically telling the guy to go kill himself. But,
wow.
But
before texting, go kill yourself.
Yeah,
was cool.
Yeah, it was the whole song. I'm gonna write the whole song and go kill yourself. But Bohemian Rhapsody was written entirely by Freddie Mercury, but it was 8 pieces. And so when he's saying that, here comes this section, it's because it was here's a little bit of a song.
It's Here Comes the Sun.
And they tied it together.
Well, they edited it to make it look like it's like a very newness of the relationship, which that was interesting.
Well, Freddie Mercury is one of those guys where I didn't watch American Idol all the time, but every now and then you watch it when one of the guys would do one of the people would do a Freddie Mercury, Queen song or a Journey song. They're just like,
you sure you want to do that?
No,
yeah.
no.
Why don't you pick Bob Dylan, because you're not going to be able to succeed here. Because to me, it ruined this. If you can't sing anywhere close to them, don't do it.
Because you're just doing an impersonation of that. You're never.
But even then, you can't hit I know some people don't like Journey, but Steve Perry in his prime had a fantastic voice. Freddie Mercury is amazing, and you just if I'm on that show, I can't sing anyway, but I'm not going to pick those 2 guys or even some of the other great singers to try and win the American Idol contest. But that's just me.
If you're looking it up, Chris, because I can see you typing.
It's creepy.
He's got that.
He's got that. I'm serious. I'm serious right now.
I've been wearing the same clothes for 3 days. My wife questioned my beer drinking ability.
But yeah, VH1 Classic. There's a few of them that are really good, like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, Queen's Night at the Opera, and there's one more. There's 3 in particular that I would always highly recommend buying that are really good. And they go through track by track, how they recorded them, why they made them. They're really good.
Nice. I'll have to watch that.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it's going through, I guess, 72 through 85, because I think the movie is supposed to end at Live Aid. And I was saying to my sister,
when did he pass away?
91.
90s, right? 91. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what's sad.
It's been that long.
Yeah. And I read maybe a couple months ago. I was really happy that Mike Myers did show him that scene in Wayne's World. It wasn't finished. The movie wasn't finished yet, but
wow,
the headbanging scene,
which is, one of the classic scene from. Everybody who's when that song comes on, we all do it, right?
Yeah.
To this day, I still do it.
That movie introduced, at least to me, aside from the Flash Gordon movie, which I at the time did not know that was Queen. Aside from Flash Gordon, Bohemian Rhapsody in Wayne's World is what introduced Queen to me.
Oh, it propelled them, I think, into a whole nother generation of listeners.
I was already listening to him before that, but
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, there's a whole nother generation that came along that needed that connective tissue to say, yeah, I like Queen. I'm trying
to remember, because I was like 10 or 11, maybe 12. There was a song that came out, and we all butchered the words, and we all thought it was something else.
We Will Rock You.
There's a bunch of them.
No, it wasn't We Will Rock You. It was
if you like
Mamma Mia. No,
Mamma Mia. Here I go.
No, not that's not. There was a song. Everyone on our block, we butchered the song, and like 10 years later, we realized, we were singing it wrong.
It's not revved up like a douche.
Yeah.
Douche,
before we go too far away from the Queen topic, you just remind me of a video that I recently saw, Nick. I don't know if it was a VH1 thing, but it was definitely a behind the scenes. Now, you remember when there was the tribute to Freddie Mercury, probably shortly after he had died, probably 92-ish, 93, I don't know when it was.
Okay.
But George Michael performed Somebody to Love, which is an amazing rendition of that song. But I was watching a behind the scenes video about this. I was just trying to do a quick search for it, see if I could find it, but I didn't find it quickly. But maybe people
that's what you're typing.
Listening to the show right now, if you want to just do a quick search about George Michael rehearsing Somebody to Love. And it's an incredibly, incredibly sad story about how he almost didn't do that performance, because this is going back in like the early 90s when he had not yet officially, George Michael, come out of the closet.
Right.
And
because he was having issues where he was being arrested.
And his significant other, I think his name was Anselmo. That's the name that rings a bell. The first name Anselmo is like he refers to him as the first man he ever loved, was actually going through and dying from HIV/AIDS at the time. So it's an incredible video just to kind of see what really was going on when we saw these guys just take the stage and throw in such an amazing tribute to Freddie Mercury. And then, of course, the sadness behind what eventually we lost another great singer with George Michael.
George Michael, tremendous talent.
Yeah. But truly incredible, man. It was, I watched that video and I was like almost in tears just actually watching him describe what it was like to be rehearsing at a time in which his producer, not his producers, but his manager and all of his people close to him were telling him that he couldn't come out of the closet. And then on top of that, performing a tribute to Freddie Mercury.
Ridiculous, but that's just a sign of the time.
That's how it was, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention performing the song Somebody to Love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
About a guy who had just died from complications of AIDS and HIV while his significant other was doing the same. Like it's incredible to see. And now you think so much more of that performance, or at least I did think so much more of that performance now, knowing what the true story was behind it.
Yeah, like it's with the documentary, with the movie coming out, they're going from 72 to 85, basically to the Live Aid concert. And my sister wondered why that is, and I was like, well, I'm kind of glad they're ending there. Because they had a lot of popularity because they weren't an 80s band. And then so when Live Aid came around, they were asked to join. They basically, it's kind of like a Hail Mary for them. They went in and said, you know what, we've only got 30 minutes. Let's go and kick some butt and do the best concert we ever did. And it propelled them to a whole new generation, kind of like we were saying with Wayne's World, same thing. Like everyone was like, who is this band? Because they basically owned Live Aid. And then they did, they put out a record in 86 with a massive tour, and that was the last Queen.
Last of it.
Yeah, because like they said, like towards the last few shows, Freddie didn't know, but they said they could tell. Like there's some recent documentary I watched about Queen, and it was saying like you could see it, like he could not finish the performances like the way he normally did. Like he was just drained. And
a lot of people I've seen people are upset that they're not showing where he dies, and I go, why do we have to see that?
No, like I'd rather remember.
I know the ending. I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But people said I feel cheated. I go, cheated?
They haven't even seen the movie yet. Shut up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right. Go see Solo.
Yeah, go see Solo. You get out of your parents' basement,
and then
you prick.
listen to Owen Brews Barbecue. Jeez.
I did get a text from Colleen a little while ago, guys. It just said hashtag not my solo.
Oh, stop it.
now you're jumping ship?
No, I just thought it was funny that Colleen, of all people, she sent to the negative Nancy of the three of us.
Is that sexist, though, to say negative Nancy?
I don't know.
Should it be negative Carl,
Nick?
maybe?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was kind of deflecting a little bit there.
Yeah.
Negative Nancy.
I hate to be a feminist here.
I don't think you. Well, I know Matt can't say that because he's on the broadcast.
I am a stone cold feminist. Yeah.
I don't think you can say negative Nancy anymore.
All right, fine. Negative Nick.
Anyway, anything else going on, guys? Anything else?
Memory, Matt.
Thanks, Chris. Christmas, Chris.
Yay! Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, sorry, I can't think of anything that rhymes with Chris.
So, what's your favorite
piss?
Yes. That's what I drink at concerts.
Is there any particular Dead song you were hoping to hear, Chris?
Sugary, yeah. So Sugary is probably my favorite Dead song. And I got to see them perform it in Boston back in November. And honest to God, it was the moment that I realized how actually amazing John Mayer is on guitar. It was that takes a lot because I was not a huge John Mayer fan, but seeing him
now you're in love with him.
I totally am. Like it was
Tom Brady, John Mayer.
It was like a religious moment hearing that and seeing that song be performed live. It was incredible. They did play "Touch of Grey," which is actually kind of cool. They don't normally play that song, but they closed out with "Touch of Grey." That was actually really cool to hear as well.
Yeah.
Which is because that "Touch of Grey" is for me is my first Grateful Dead song. Like as a kid growing up, that was the first song I knew. I remember they had a music video on MTV with the dancing skeletons and stuff.
Yeah.
That was my first view into the world of Grateful Dead when I was younger. But
that was so weird too because I remember that. I remember comedians making fun of that at the time. It was like, you know how Grateful Dead's been around since '67, but all of a sudden every single kid all of a sudden is wearing Dead shirts in the middle of the late '80s, early '90s. You're like, where did that come from? And it's just because of this massive it was their first hit. They never had a hit until that point.
Yep.
Did they play Franklin's Tower?
Yes,
that's a good one.
Yeah, they did.
I actually, Blues for Allah is probably my favorite Dead record. I know a lot of people will say Working Man or American Beauty, but I love Blues for Allah. I think it's a great, just a different kind of record. Sorry, that's what Franklin's Tower's on.
I never really got into the Dead.
I'm just gonna pull up the set list real quick from last night. They opened up, and I didn't get to see it because it took so goddamn long for us to get into the concert. They opened up with Shakedown Street.
Put down the Corona.
Yes. No, we actually up and left so the doors open. They say the concert starts at 7. They didn't start until 7:30. We knew that was going to happen, but we left our car at 6:20, and it took us over an hour to get in because they did a terrible job funneling people in for security check and everything. It was just awful.
Well, it's sad that you have to go through those security checks now.
Yeah.
Well, you did get the Woodstock experience.
No, they didn't play Franklin's Tower. Maybe I was just thinking they did.
Oh, okay.
I'd want Tennessee Jed.
So it was they only played 16 songs, but anybody who knows the Grateful Dead, that's 3 hours.
A lot, yeah.
So I'll give you a quick rundown of the set list. So last night's set list was Shakedown Street, Alabama Gateway, It's All Over Now, Brown Eyed Woman, Tennessee Jed, Birdsong, Loose Lucy, Scarlet Begonias, which is great, Fire in the Mountains, an amazing song to listen to live, Althea, Estimated Prophet, Eyes in the World, Drums, Space. Stella Blue was incredible.
Stella!
And finished off with Touch of Grey.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's all Nick got excited for the Tennessee song.
I would have been so happy to hear Tennessee Jed because I just wouldn't have expected them to play it. I'd have been like, just because it has Tennessee in it. I mean, I love it. It's one of the best. I love
what a homer.
I love the hook though into CJ because it's just Tennessee, there ain't no place I'd rather be. And then you get that long baby.
So that's the song. That's one of the songs you have the entire place is singing along. Yeah. So that was a cool moment.
Yeah.
I did have a question for Chris. Illyrio I think it was Illyrio, posted a video of the Media Junkyard doing I'm on
a boat.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah.
How long did that take? Because it's pretty. It's the editing's great. The lip singing. I'm assuming you guys are lip singing.
Yes.
Okay. It's a pretty amazing video. I mean, think about it. It's pretty. I mean, how long did that take to film?
I'll tell you that was so long ago. I don't think
I was waiting to see it on VH1 Behind the Music. But
there weren't many. There weren't very many takes. I can tell you that much. So let's just put it this way: it took longer for Christine to get the boat in the water. And no, I did say Christine because Illyrio didn't do a goddamn thing. Christine is an absolute machine, and she got that boat off the dock and everything squared away. That was the first boat ride of the season for them. But I don't know. It couldn't take it that long. That was like a one take wonder.
It's a nice video.
Yeah, that was
well
fun.
Done.
That was.
I know Illyrio
years ago.
He posted something political this week, and I said something about the border and stuff like that. I said, "Well, you're just upset maybe because the Stanley Cup. We won't allow the Stanley Cup to cross back into Canada."
Ohio.
It's been since 1994. So
nice.
Anyway, so anyone who's a hockey fan, there's a team that. Expansion team, the Las Vegas Knights, are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep,
an expansion team that should not happen in any sport.
Mm-hmm.
But
hey, congratulations to you, Matt. I don't know if you realize, but you now have a Major League Soccer team.
What?
FC Cincinnati.
FC Cincinnati.
First in flight.
You're talking about Ohio. Sorry. And Cincinnati's actually pretty close to Indianapolis. It's not actually.
God damn it! That's how much Indiana sucks. I keep forgetting you're not in there.
San Diego's getting one of those new football teams, the spring league teams.
I'm like, you got WKRP. You're all set.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
I've spent some time in Ohio, so and I'm pretty close to Cincinnati. My aunt lives there still, so sometimes I go and visit. But so yeah, sorry to spoil your fun, but that's exciting.
It's your fun. I was trying to create.
You see that video posted today? There's a Washington Capitol guy gets hit in the face. He's on the bench. He gets hit in the face with the puck.
Ovechkin.
I love that.
And he just kind of goes, nah. And there's a soccer player who gets hit in the hip and just like he's shot.
The thing is, if you look at it, a guy gets hit in the hip and then he immediately grabs his face. And you're like, why are you grabbing your face? Like the acting in soccer is one of the things that makes me not like.
But this is on a corner kick. I don't understand why he's acting like he's. I don't. There couldn't possibly be a penalty. He was all by himself.
The only time I've ever grabbed my face was after Meowser's
cat attack.
Your cat attack?
I literally grabbed whatever was nearby and threw it on my face. So it's the only time.
You threw another cat on your face? Is that what happened?
Was it your you take your broadcast T-shirt and put it in your face?
I do not have a broadcast T-shirt. I
have
a broadcast bra.
Not yet. You're a card-carrying member.
No, they made me burn that. No, I'm not a part of the broadcast. I mean, sure, it should be an equal thing here. Maybe we can be friends with them.
Yeah, your friend zone.
That doesn't exist.
You guys are just really making me shoot my own mouth. No, I just mean like we won't be in the friend zone with them. We'll just be friends with them. Just be human beings with them, right? Like we can.
It's America. We don't do that.
We have men for that.
Sure. We have men for that.
We have men for friends.
Oh,
men.
I'm curious. Like, are you going to have post-traumatic stress with the cat? Like in years later, like you wake up in a cold sweat, and you're like, "Honey, what's wrong?"
You ever sleep with one eye open?
Yeah,
Where that one eye's going to be attacked?
Gripping your pillow tight. Oh God, Chris, I need to send you guys a awesome video of a funkified version of Enter Sandman. It's so good.
Funkified Enter Sandman.
That sounds
nice.
It's really good.
Nice.
I would be terrified though if I woke up and turned over and Meowsers was just where my wife was at.
If I was your wife, I would do it intentionally.
Yeah, like she gets one of those big, huge helmets. I don't know, stuffed animal heads.
No, just put the cat right next to you.
Just put the cat.
She gets out of bed to Matt, wake up. Matt, wake up. And
she's actually allergic.
and then film it.
Yeah, she's actually allergic, so she would not want.
Wait, she's allergic to the cat. And you have a cat in the house that's a killer.
That's how much she loves me.
Wow. Whose cat is it? Was it originally your cat?
It's my daughter's cat.
Okay.
So
how's your daughter's arm doing?
She's doing good. Yeah, she's supposed to get her cast off in about a week. So
that's not bad.
Won't be fully healed, but they want her to maintain her
therapy. She has to do therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah, regain motion. What have you?
Yeah.
So
you jamming out to Metallica, Chris?
he's good call.
Of all the music we've talked about tonight,
you know who Chris looks like there? What's the somebody once told me? What's that group?
Screw you!
I'm just saying. Right, Smashmouth. You look like the guy from Smashmouth. Am I right?
I mean, it is, but it's also a really mean joke.
I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm sorry. Right there. Am I right?
I don't know. He looks more like a guy.
Come on, take a stand, Matt.
I'm okay. Yes, he looks like the guy that would spray paint dicks on cars.
Okay. Yeah. But did he remember the ball hairs?
Modern Family. An episode of Modern Family. I go, hey, it's the dick guy.
Yeah.
It's the one-eye sheriff.
Chris is
while these guys are being D-bags, I'm listening to that funkified version of Metallica's Enter Sandman, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh, did you just Google it and find it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Great. I sent you guys the link, too. So.
I'm sorry I didn't have time to Google it. I'm doing a podcast.
It's great, isn't it, Chris?
I'm sorry, I didn't have time to listen to this song.
I was watching Smashmouth listen to Metallica. What happened to Smashmouth?
Like a lot of those late 90s bands, they just kind of did their thing.
Was it the 90s?
They got smashed in the mouth.
So speaking of Smashmouth,
I liked them. I'm sorry.
Have you seen the YouTube channel of the kid who takes every song and puts it to the tune of Smashmouth's?
I have not. No
song. You need to.
So there's a whole channel dedicated to.
Hang on, Smashmouth
channel
cover guy. Yes,
cover guy.
It's a kid. You said
it.
But what is he adding?
I forgot what he looked like, and I'm so happy. I just Googled it.
Are you looking in the mirror?
He kind of looks like Peter Griffin with a beard. Hang on, I'll play one for you guys live here.
All right, can't wait.
But how does his chin look? I have a specific Peter Griffin.
Well, they're just below his one eye.
Well, I'll tell you, the video of the guy makes it 10 times better.
I don't think anybody's going to be able to hear this.
You're going to have to post it on our Facebook page.
It just sounds like cymbals.
It sounds like a tinny chainsaw that's going to take down a tinny tree. Ooh, okay, man.
Somebody once told me the world is better rolling. I get the tool in the shed. He was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running.
Chris is back on the screen.
So much to do, so much to see.
I should have you play the calls, Chris. That was a lot louder than Maggie's call was last week.
It's like that scene in Ted, or was it the one or the Bear movie?
Ted.
Is it Ted? Okay,
it's Ted, right?
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg.
Marky Mark. Yeah, where it's like basically like you can sing any all '90s music. It's just vowels. You know, he's like A-E-I-O-U. You know, oh my God.
Well, that's some good stuff.
I'm not a big '90s fan.
I'm not a big Jack fan right now.
You basically called him too repulsive thing.
Effing Smashmouth, dude.
I'm sorry. It just came to me because you were the way you were. He always wears he wears a hat backwards and stuff.
He's just spitting anything out in order to avoid being the title of the episode. That's don't
exactly.
Exactly.
I think we're going with One-Eyed Sheriff, aren't we?
I thought Smashmouth chin worked really nicely.
Smashmouth chin.
That is him. If Chris had sunglasses on right now, that would be him.
He's got the
and a hat
douchebag beard, though.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have the same.
Who purposely puts that pencil thin thing and goes, "This looks good."
Well, he was making money at the time, right?
Yeah.
Is he even are they even performing anymore?
I have no idea.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, you could rent them.
Because I know I was listening to it was the 70s station today. It was the 70s or 80s. It must have been 80s on Sirius XM. And they said Tommy and the Two Tones. Was it Jenny 8675309?
Mm-hmm.
They were in concert recently, and they're still together playing music.
Oh yeah, like there's so many of those bands like one hit wonders. Like sometimes they're cool because they'll do like a 4-band tour where it's they have each like 2 or 3 good songs,
right?
And
they'll
all just pull together. But I remember that like who was it? The band that played the Archies, yeah. The band that played Eye of the Tiger. That was like their one hit.
Survivor,
yeah, Survivor like came to.
I know you guys don't. 2 guys on here don't watch it, but
oh yeah,
nope.
It's they had a couple songs though.
Yeah, but like they came to a town near my hometown and played recently. Well, like a year ago or so, and then it's just like it's one of those things where you're just standing there going like, "Play that one song I know," so I get the hell out of here. But
so I like Night Ranger. I could live with I know a lot of people don't like Night Ranger.
Every time,
what do they have other than
Sister Christian? Yeah.
Sister Christian.
Every time I think of Sister Christian, I always think of songs. I think of Boogie Nights every time I hear Sister Christian now, though. Just
because
it's in Boogie Nights, and that guy's just all coked out, and that kid throwing the firecrackers, and he's just like, "I love this part, man! Just the dun 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 motorhead."
What? I like Night Ranger. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't dislike them. I just don't know anything other than Sister Christian.
Mm-hmm.
They had 4 or 5 songs. I'd have to hear it to remember it, but when it's on, I turn it up.
Let me ask you one question. Do you know the wagon?
REO
Speedwagon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I listen to Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
There you go, Chris. I was wondering which one of you would get it. Okay.
I got it. Well, in the day, REO Speedwagon.
Do you want me to change it? No, that's cool.
No.
No,
I thought you were trying to tell us that it's time for us to fly.
The response you're looking for, Nick, was what man doesn't?
REO Speedwagon was great in the 80s. Great group.
Much like your Visit Tatooine t-shirt, Chris.
Yeah.
I got somewhere on my Instagram popped up of, would you like to buy a Cobra Kai t-shirt?
Yes.
And I immediately was like, yes, I would.
I get that. I get that all the time.
So, yeah. In a future episode, I will be wearing my Cobra Kai t-shirt.
There you go. Nice.
And if you're looking for a great t-shirt, you should check out what Crazy Hank's got in store.
I like when you sent me that message. I love what I go, because my wife's like, God, that's excellent. How did you do that? I go, well, it's not mine. It's I'm affiliate.
Referring, yeah.
I can sell other people's shirts if I just promote them. So I thought it was really cool. So I thought I'd promote it. It's Donald Glover, and it's kind of tripped out. But my wife thought it was really great that I had a lot of talent. I said, no, it's not me.
I'm sitting there. I was like, man, Jack stepped it up.
Yeah, that's not me.
We promoted the hell out of it, actually, on Owen and Beru's barbecue.
We did.
Well, thank you.
After the episode was over, Chris cut out, and I was like, Matt, did you think that was a little weird? Like, we're in the middle of talking about Star Wars, and all of a sudden Chris just goes, hey, we're going to talk about some Crazy Hank right now. I'm like, okay.
It's funny because Amazon merch is so picky about what they'll choose. I designed a shirt. I found my niche, just words, no design. And I put something about Facebook, and it has the term Facebook in it. So then I put with the whole Roseanne thing and that guy for the Packers, or Cleveland Browns. It said if you retweet this, if the Cleveland Cavaliers win the NBA title, I'll buy you a jersey. Well, 869,000 plus people retweeted this, and now he's like, well, I can't do that because he can't afford to buy jerseys for everybody. And I, of course, Donald, our president, I said, think before you tweet.
Oh, so yeah. I like that one.
I put that on Amazon merch, and 2 days they came back and said, rejected. You can't do that. I said, that doesn't even have the word Twitter in it.
Yeah.
That got rejected, but the Facebook one, I put I believe everything I read on Facebook. That one got pushed in like 5 minutes. Think before you tweet got rejected. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah. That was a really solid. Yeah.
Well, I have another company I work with. I put it on there. So anyway, I go, but it's Amazon. I don't want to mess with them because they're the big boys. But I'm like, I don't get it. Why was that one? I literally put Facebook in the other one, and that got approved in 5 minutes. Tweet. They said it was a conflict of. I don't own the rights to tweet.
Yeah.
I'm sure Facebook, Zuckerberg has protected himself on Facebook. I'm guessing.
What if you're talking about birds?
There's
a bird outside tweeting.
I guess not. I don't argue with him. I just go, okay.
What about think before you tweet?
But you know what? I should try that one.
Yeah, because you never know. Put a little bird in there. Yeah. Put a bird on it. That's what the hipsters say.
Yeah.
So
it's a robin, right? Rockin' Robin.
Yeah.
Rockin' Robin.
There you go. I'll do that.
This was a rockin' good show, though. We covered a lot of music.
It was. I had fun. We did.
I think
a lot of stuff going on.
Tell us something.
What? How would you?
Well, Matt's got another podcast to do after this.
Oh, he probably does. Yeah. What's your top 10 list?
I've got 5 other top 10 lists that I got to do.
He just want to keep the ladies waiting.
He does have his broadcast earbuds in.
Okay, I have to pick out these pink buds because A, they're the style that I like, and B, this color happens to be the cheapest. And I don't really. I don't mind.
Is that true?
It is. Yeah, it's all 100% true. Also, I bought it in October, so I felt like it was kind of doing something.
Nothing wrong with pink.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've got a tattoo on my arm.
I wore pink in like the early 80s. I'd have pink sweaters, pink shirts, and I took a lot of heat for it. But I manned up and said, "Don't mess with me. I'll rip your face off." Only
the manliest men wear pink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was ahead of my time.
Aerosmith wrote a hit song about it.
Mm-hmm. There was a shirt in the a slogan in the 50s or 60s. Think pink, and the guy made like millions off it. Think pink. That's all it was. And it's like almost like the smiley face, yellow smiley face. Have a nice day.
Huh? It's almost like a tweet pink.
Should I try that? Tweet pink?
Tweet pink, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go, after we're done here, I'm going to go and I'm going to get pink letters and tweet pink.
Yeah.
Trademark.
I'm not going to try it with Amazon. I'll just do it with another company. Tweet pink.
Just like the national trademark.
Trademark that like right now before we submit it because tweet pink could actually be a 10%, trend.
Jack.
I had one with Amazon. They rejected something that was my original artwork.
Huh.
I go, but that's my artwork.
You know what's funny? Like it's weird about I don't know what total loss, but I remember like my friend of mine was a really good artist. I mean, not as good as Matt, but like
I'm still waiting for Matt to finish the 2 shirts I asked for.
But it's not like but like if you do that though, like let's say you want to make a T-shirt and then you let's say you're a really good artist and you design the pocket work or the back image and then you give it to an actual graphic designer. It doesn't matter that you drew it to the perfection and he copied it 100% because he's the graphic artist. He owns it. You don't. And that's what's nuts.
You know, what's funny is like I watch YouTube videos on how to be more successful, and every video says, go on Amazon merch, find out what the most successful shirts are, copy it, change it up just a tad, and then put it on there. They're telling you basically to steal someone else's work.
Weird.
Yeah.
And they all say that. I'm like going, well, this isn't. I don't want to go in there and steal someone else's work. So anyway, but that's what they tell you to do.
I've got a shirt for you, Jack. Can you target your marketing to specific areas?
I just put it on. It's whatever. No.
This is a shirt idea that I have here. It says, I vacationed at Bondi's Island. And anybody who lives in the area code of 413 in Western Massachusetts knows that Bondi's Island is actually a sewage water treatment facility.
But that's something that's already out there, right?
Yeah. Well, my dad made that one.
Oh, your dad made that one, so I can steal from your dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't mind stealing from a family member.
No.
I don't care.
They don't need the money.
Hey, as long as you tweet pink.
I'm going to do that.
All right. Well,
did you really copyright it, Chris? Because you should.
I beat you to it, Jack.
there's probably like someone that's already thought of this. So
Probably.
yeah.
Well, there's like 5 billion shirts out there. I mean, there's so many people on. There's like 20 or 40 different sites that you can go sell your stuff on.
But I'm just thinking, like, when I think of like things like Got Milk, you know, and Ross and friends actually made a deal. Like, I'm the one that thought of Got Milk, you know, and like, but you know, think about how much money someone made. I'm just saying, Got
like
Milk.
it's like, you know, it's just that one saying. Some guy did something. He made like $58,000 in like a week, and it was some stupid saying he put on Reddit, and everyone went bananas over it. I can't remember what it was. It was something stupid. But he made $58,000. His profit was $58,000, not the shirt sales.
Jack, I'm currently checking out on GoDaddy.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the proud owner of TweetPink.com.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll share it with you.
I'm kidding. It is available for 99 cents if you want it.
Oh, so it's not. It hasn't been taken. It's all right, Matt. We'll do that one. Tweet Pink.
I don't know why.
You never know.
But it works. It could really work.
I did one where where this guy, he said it's the Nike logo upside down and says, I can't do it. And this company I'm on, I super like that one. He sold like 12 shirts in 2 days that I know of. I mean because I've been in 2 days, so I've made money off that shirt in 2 days because he sold 12 shirts. I can't do it. Huh. It's just a black and white shirt with the little swoosh is upside down. I can't believe that shirt is selling like that. And I don't know how many he sold before I did that.
It's just not like because I like witty or whatever. Because like there's a T-shirt I bought the other day for nothing, and it just said, "Sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to come." And because that's so me when people invite me to stuff, and I was like, I want that shirt because I think that 99% of the time.
What is it? Sorry, I'm late.
Sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to come.
I didn't. I'm going to see if it's out there.
And I'm sure it's spelled that way too, right?
The proper way, not the other way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you really can't.
Not the one-eyed.
Yeah, you can't do it on Amazon Virtual.
Oh, okay.
No. Now, other sites you can do it.
Little peek into
the
Jack's,
business world of Jack Gladfelder.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, I told you the girl in Westworld, Shannon Woodward.
Yeah,
likes your shirt.
She liked my shirt, so I'm sending her one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't sell any other ones, but I sold one because I bought it. But I get a commission on it, and then someone who a couple of people super liked it. They're getting commission off the sale, so they're making more money than I'm making on the shirt.
Huh?
Because I actually had to pay for it. But...
Cindy logic.
Yeah, exactly.
Cindy logic.
What?
Well,
So
if you like Cindy Logic, and who doesn't like Cindy Logic?
You can shop. Speaking of Amazon, you can shop at Amazon.com/JaneJack, or go to JaneJack.com. And the little button there says Shop Amazon. Every little bit helps. You buy something. You can buy. Can you get that wood burning thing on your on Amazon? Did we figure that out? No? All right, forget about that. But you can buy tons of other stuff on Amazon. If you'd like to be a patron, help this show out and the other shows that Matt's on. You can become a patron. Go to patreon.com/JandJack, or just go to jandjack.com. Click on the little red button that says "Become a Patron." We share it with everybody. All the podcasters on this network get a little piece of the pie.
Correction: you can buy the Solo Stove Bonfire on Amazon.
There you go. Like you said, you didn't say last week that there's no smoke.
Yeah, I mentioned that to you guys after the fact that that sweet bonfire that I have does not give off any very little to no smoke whatsoever.
And to me, that's the biggest, because I remember going to Charger games, Padre games, and tailgating, and no matter where I sat, the smoke blew my way. Mm-hmm. I could move. I could go like a clock, go around, and no matter where I sat. So no smoke would be a big selling point for me. I think Randy said that going on a when you're camping, not having that kind of is probably a better thing to use than having a campfire.
Yeah,
I would think so too. Yeah, because you can control it, and the heat's more centered.
Right. Makes sense.
Keeps the bears away.
Bears.
And also on Amazon, you can buy bear spray.
Bear spray. Yeah.
So when you are camping, you need to keep those predators away.
Well, you just go. I'm sure Dan knows how to kill a bear.
I'm sure he's killed a bear. Probably not an actual bear, but like
just someone named Bear.
I'm sure some of his victims probably looked like they were mauled by a bear.
Afterward, yeah.
Yeah.
He's always flashing the knife.
Yeah.
And join us next week when I might be replaced by Dan.
I thought you were Dan.
Oh, sure.
Dan gonna be wearing a matte skin.
Yeah.
So weird. So weird.
Have it stitched to his face.
That's really creepy.
All right, let's cut it off there. I think.
Okay.
Wait, at this time we have to thank 5 patrons. We thank them all, but Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Rickner Glaffeler, Molly the Millennial, Ed the Creepy Letter Carrier. That's what you guys say in the broadcast, right, Matt?
Yes.
Not it.
And Maggie the Magnificent. Thanks for doing what you do, and thanks for everyone who listens to us and goes to the iTunes and gives us a 5-star review, which we haven't had in over a year, but that's okay. We're all right. That's it. That's all I got. Hasta luego and goodbye.
See ya.
Great show, guys. 1 in a million.
And what about Smashmouth?
I get knocked down.
That's Chumbawamba.
I know. I'm just thinking of 90s crap.
Screw you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.